What a night. What a day. What a week. What a month. What a year. What a decade to start. What a decade to start. Wow. How the tides have turned. How they have turned. It's changed. Things have changed, man. That's like the one thing I can honestly say, that things have changed a lot, man, haven't they? It's crazy, right? Freaking crazy. All right. So basically, everybody knows what's going on. I don't have to hype it. I don't have to do a crazy intro, do I? I don't have to do these things, do I? It's been one hell of a week, and it basically all has culminated in the challenge, the face-off, the versus mode of the century. Two squads, two massive groups of people standing across the battlefield, staring each other down. That's what this has led to, y'all. This is what this has led to, y'all. Leroy, thanks, my dude. Appreciate you. I'll hit the super chats. No, don't worry. This is going to be a nice slow roll of a stream. Nana, thank you for upgrading your membership. Leroy, my dude. Hooking it up, Leroy. You about paid for the whole stream already. Just get, you almost got this whole stream paid for, my dude. Thank you. All right. I'll try to describe what's going on, but all I can do is give you my opinion of things. I'm no legal expert. You know this. I don't brag about it. I don't try to, predict the court case shit. I don't even care about that stuff. I'm not good at that. So I'm not telling you I am. I'm not trying to be good at it. Kyle Curtis walked into court and slammed the paper down in front of the judge and said, "Hey, I never got served correctly." Now, the propaganda machine started turning out of Reed's rhetoric side of the fence when they start putting out clips of Kyle saying that he got served and all this craziness. And it's like, dude, for one, we all know that doesn't matter. That's why process servers have a job. But what the hell? It's almost like, what will get our audience being okay, having our side? What will make our audience have our side a little bit? Oh, I know. Let's find a clip of Kyle and try to splice it together to make it sound like it said something we wanted to say. It's so fucked. But either way, I'm not saying that Kyle is going to get the court case thrown out. I'm just saying that everybody thinks that Kyle is going to get the court case thrown out, okay? I'm telling you, that's what everybody thinks. It's a 50-50 shot. It's a crap shot right now. It's loaded dice being rolled in the back alley with the bets being thrown down all around from the internet. Steve McRae has been doing nothing but bragging about the non-sequitur court case, how he's won it and all this, and now he's being challenged. And you can tell. You can tell that he's being challenged. You can tell he's worried about it. You can tell he's having a massive breakdown because he turned on his long-term subscribers, long-term moderators, and lied to them directly to their faces. Now, what I have been telling you all is he's lied to his moderators' faces for a year. He's lied to their faces for a year. They just didn't realize it, like me, like I was. And it's messed up because those moderators over there, they know me. They were cool with me. And for some reason, they think that I would just flip-flop on Steve for no good reason. I guess it's some kind of propaganda that's put out. I guess it's some type of weird mechanic, something that pathological liars or narcissists, they just have this ability to sense the thing that will work on people the most of their group. And I guess they just know what to put out to get them to believe it. But I'm telling you, man, it'd be cool if the moderators and the long-term non-sequitur fans out there woke up and actually did what they claimed to do, or be and just got skeptical for a little bit and started watching some of the videos out there that show the truth on this mess, because you can't deny it at this point. After last night's stream, basically Steve had a full meltdown, probably because of the pressure that's like going on in that green grinchy brain of his over Kyle actually having a chance to get this whole court case thrown out. To where if Steve would have to do, let me just explain the possibilities or the outcome possibilities there, but Twitter has changed, the entire social media landscape. If you go back just a couple months ago to when he was attacking Katie Joy like crazy before Christmas, and all that craziness that happened between me and him to now, ironically, even though he'll swear to you UNIRock had nothing to do with it, the reason I changed my mind is the same reason the entire internet has changed their mind about Steve McRae. It's the reason the entire internet has changed their mind. And between November or December or whenever it was, like when all that shit happened to now, the entire image of Steve and his friends have changed from a trusted group of people who never have to show evidence because everybody can trust them. Ironically, you should always have some evidence. You know this, right? That's where I messed up, right? And now they've turned into a group that no one trusts whatsoever. So one of the weird things that's happening behind the scenes is that big groups of people are forming together to start calling them out on things that I had no idea about. And I've talked about this the tiniest bit over on the Rock-A-Lot channel, but it was a few weeks ago. Now, a lot of you guys know I didn't always do critique videos of Flat Earth ding-dongs. Oh my God, I forgot. Oh my God, I've got an awesome... We're going to revisit Nathan Oakley tonight. One of my favorite people to look at. He ripped Steve McRae to shreds. Nathan Oakley did. In Quantum Eraser. And the worst part is they actually made good points. It sucks. I don't want them making any good points. They don't make any good points about the shape of the earth, but they sure could make some good points about McRae. Anyway, though, the entire scape of the internet, the scope, the scape, the landscape, everything has changed now, and basically Steve doesn't have the effect that he used to have on the audience. People aren't buying it. His own moderators, his own supporters last night turned on him in his live chat and caused them to have an epic breakdown of massive proportions. They started to ban all these people. They removed wrenches from some of their longest term people just out of the blue and banned some of them. One of their moderators went rogue and deleted over 200 people from Steve's channel. One of their long-term mods from the Non Sequitur show. People are starting to realize what's up. People are starting to realize that UNIRock called out Steve for good reason. I didn't make anything up against the dude, as he says, as he's said lately. I've got so many clips for you. I got so much stuff to show you. But, the big masses of people that are banding together in Discord servers, they're doing it for a reason that kind of surprised me. If you watch the Rock-A-Lot channel, you probably already know this. But for those of you that aren't subscribed yet, go subscribe. It's my new, it's my new channel to do my after show and all my random stuff. I could literally do Photoshop over there, or I could be doing a video game, or I could be doing a show. I did a show there today. But across my desk came a packet of GoFundMe campaigns that have all been run that involve 3 or 4 or 5 people. All of them involve the same people. Some of them are for thousands upon thousands of dollars. Now, I wasn't going to look into this because I didn't really have a reason to. I didn't have any... it seemed to me like Sean Hufford wasn't being a dick to me, so I was like, I'm not going to look into this right now. But the weirdest thing happened. Sean usually is a dick to me. Even when me and him got along, he was a dick to me. And I expected him to be a dick to me after everything happened. Well, guess what? He wasn't, but his girlfriend has been being a dick to me and stalking me on Twitter, leaving all these nasty things. So I changed my mind. I'm going to look into it. A GoFundMe campaign happened. They never did what they promised they were going to do with the money, but instead claimed that all the money got stolen. They did another GoFundMe campaign for the same amount of money, and it didn't make as much, but it made a lot. And then took that money and didn't even do with it what they promised they were going to do with the money the whole time. And you haven't heard me complain about this yet. The reason is I've been so busy with other things. Well, across my desk, turns out there are several different groups of people that are now looking into this because many of them are people that donated either to Red's Rhetoric or to Hufford or to AT2 Productions or to Marvel Girl. And now they're really starting to figure out what's going on. They're starting to figure out that they're being milked like cows for their money. All because they are fans of a couple different YouTube channels. Some of these GoFundMe campaigns are frivolous as hell. Now, I didn't care to look into this side of things, but then I started to think of all the shit that AT2 Productions was saying about me having a Patreon or a PayPal link. And then I started to think about all of these comments that were coming out from these guys and all the shit that they were talking about me. And I said to myself, you know, I have a really dusty playlist, Crowdsourced Criminals. And my audience really did like Crowdsourced Criminals. It always got a lot of views. So we might just pull the playlist off the shelf for another round where we take a look at GoFundMe campaigns, the conditions that are in them, the evidence that happened around them, and make up our mind whether they are legit or not. And a lot of the preliminary data kind of, they're not that legit, should I say. What's weird is that this group probably would have gotten away with everything they were doing if they didn't go around accusing everybody else. See, whenever they get mad at a YouTuber, they like to go into that YouTuber's comment sections and live chats and Discord servers and then give them shit about having a PayPal or a Patreon. Regardless if they do a lot of content or not, regardless if they do what they say they're doing with their money or not, regardless if they run an actual GoFundMe campaign or if they're just having a YouTube channel with a Patreon, they like to spam that out. They like to talk about how, you know, they like to criticize them over their pay links and stuff. And that's the thing that's changed my mind. I would have let this all go and not even cared, but to know that they are that hypocritical, I want to take the eye that they have toward other people's internet presences, and I want to turn their level of, you know, the things they say and do there, criticizing them, and I want to turn it right back on them. Because if you just do it the tiniest bit, you start to see huge holes in what they do. Literally, every few weeks, another GoFundMe campaign where one of them just happens to be sitting in the stream. One of them happens to be over here. One of them happens to be over there. Oh no, we swear we're doing it so we can get a job. Oh no, we swear we did it because we wrecked our car. Oh no, we're doing this one because we hit 3 pigs and we need a bumper. Oh no, no. We're doing it for legit reasons. It's the creators on YouTube with Patreons and PayPals that live stream that are the problem. That make content every day. Those are the problems, not us lying about our GoFundMe campaigns, taking in $6,000 and then having to do another one a couple days later and taking in another thousands of dollars. And it just gets convoluted and stupid. But we've got some videos to watch that might explain this to us, because there's always been this group of trolls. Everybody calls them trolls because they call themselves trolls. It's not like that. They call themselves trolls, honestly. And they've always kind of shown the hypocrisy of the flat earthers and their GoFundMe campaigns and their pay campaigns. But if you ever notice that a lot of those channels also mix in certain flat earth debunkers into the group. And you always wonder why. Why do they do that? if the debunkers are just debunking these guys, why are they getting mixed in with the flat earthers? Well, I figured it out. I can kind of see eye to eye with some of these guys now. They do it simply because this little group with like Reds and Sean and AT2 and all these guys, they run more GoFundMe campaigns than some of them do YouTube videos. Anyway, before we get into all the other stuff that's going on out there, we've got to talk about the lawsuit to end all lawsuits, the non-sequitur lawsuit. We got to talk about that for a second real quick. Because, as you guys know, McCrae went live several times telling the entire world that he won. It's over. Completely over. There's nothing else to do. It's over. That was like a month ago. Well, then like a few days ago, he did another one. It's over. There's nothing else to do. It's over. It's over. And he was celebrating winning until Kyle Curtis showed up with a video. You're scratching your head right now. With a video, Uni? He showed up with a video? What do you mean did he showed up with a video? Oh my god, what video did he show up with? Take a look at this.
Very well. And I said, okay, great. Then I'll show people how to find it. But I did note, and Jimmy saw this, that the information on there was old. That was Kyle's old address. People had known that he had moved. He moved in with his boyfriend, which I don't have the address for.
That was the address that he was served from, which was his a family member's address, which we knew was an old address. I knew that we knew that was an old address, but that's fine. He had no forwarding information on it, and
I've got to pause it before the next stupid thing comes out because it's so stupid. I don't know if I'll be able to stay in my chair after they say this next part. So basically, you guys know that if you get served for court and you don't get it, they can't sue you. They can't, hold you accountable. They can't say, well, he never got served, okay? Now, the defense from the McCrazy, which I am calling McCrae and his friends McCrazies now, the defense from the McCrazy group here was that as long as his mom got the letter, we can sue him and take everything. And a lot of their long-term viewers stood up and said, no, you can't. There was an actual process server in the chat that had been his fan for a long time who said, you're wrong on this one, dude. Just listen to me. You're wrong on this. He has a case. So, of course, Nate Brody, who I wanted to have on the show tonight. Nate, if you're watching, I can still bring you in tonight, man. If you want to do it tomorrow, though, that's fine. If you're busy tonight, I was going to get Nate on yesterday with Anti-Ordinary, and I fell asleep. It's okay because Anti-Ordinary did too, but Anti-Ordinary may have gotten up, but me and Nate fell asleep. I talked to Nate this morning. He is going to be coming on. I just don't know when. And I'll pull him on tonight if he jumps into the Discord or something. Anyway, though, it's not the fact that, it's not the fact of that they're saying that Kyle has a chance. A lot of people think that Kyle has no chance. Although there are more people that think that Kyle does have a chance to have this whole case thrown out. And there are court cases out there that other people have found that have been thrown out on way less than what happened here. It all comes down to the evidence that Kyle gives the judge, and it all comes down to the judge's decision. It's likely that the judge could just say no, and we're going to keep going, or the judge could say, I knew there was something funky here with this case, this lawsuit, right? And he could then, throw the whole thing out, or he could just restart the shit. I don't think he can do that. That's the problem. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a judge. I don't study this stuff. I don't tell you that I'm good at this stuff. I admit to you that I'm not. I'll give you my opinion and I'll give you the breakdown of everybody else, but we've got a really good stream we can look at that can fill us in on all the details. Now, I'm only going to play a little bit of it because you're just going to have to go to Nate Brody's channel and see it for yourself. But Brody's been killing it, dude. I haven't been streaming, guys. I've been too busy making edited videos. I've been busy here. So it's not that I'm just, you know, chilling or anything. He did this video, trial by YouTube. Let's talk about process service. So before we get to Brody's video, let's finish this clip.
And an adult sign for it.
I just got the super chat.
Right.
Jesus Christ, dude.
Yeah.
I got this. The super chat is Jason Born for 2 said, my last known address was 20 years ago. Proper? Yes. Because it's your responsibility.
Yes.
So everybody hearing Cheshire say, yes, if you lived somewhere 20 years ago and then you moved to Alaska, Bama, if you moved to Egypt and they serve you at your 20 house year ago address, you could lose everything and be held accountable in court. And everybody's like, no, ding-dongs, that's not true. Luckily, some of their audience is really smart. And it made them all realize if they're going to lie to me about something this dumb just so they look good right now or just so they keep their audience calm right now, what else did they lie to me about? Now, those audience members have been on a video watching spree. Some of them have been watching my videos on this subject, and now they kind of understand what happened with me and Steve. Others are just as on Steve's side as ever. Others are stomping around Twitter going, if he lived there 20 years ago, then he gets everything taken in court. And realistic people are saying that it's a 50-50 shot. Any person out there that's being realistic is saying that it's a 50-50 shot. It is a dice throw right now. Literally, though, it is a good chance. 50-50 is a good chance, y'all, because he could have a 0% chance. Here's what happened. Kyle took papers into the court, gave it to the judge, didn't even put what he wanted to do with those papers on the front page of those papers, and the judge saw it, well, the court saw it, and filed it as a motion to dismiss the case. So even though Kyle didn't turn it in as a motion to dismiss the case, the way it was explained to me, they took it as a motion to dismiss the case. That was told to me by a lawyer, Nate Brody. So I find that to be very indicative that they immediately knew what was going on with these papers that Kyle was trying to do. And it's almost like it makes me think that Kyle has a really good chance. Now, a lot of people are going to say, why in the world are these guys not just admitting that Kyle has a chance? And why don't they want Kyle to have a chance? If Steve, who's been saying he's got a slam dunk case, Kyle can't win. Kyle's lied the whole time. Steve has told the truth the whole time. If all that's true, then who cares if they have to go through the case, allowing Kyle to defend himself? Kyle should be able to defend himself, right? He should have that opportunity if he wants it. Hopefully the judge gives it to him. That's all I want to see. I just want to see it duked out fairly in court. What is wrong with that, by the way? Whether you support Steve or you support Kyle or you're like me and you don't support either of them, what is it? What would ever be wrong with them facing off in court? That's what Steve's wanted this whole time, you know? Their audience, though, finally didn't like being lied to. I've heard the live chat of last night's show being referred to as a battle royale between old Steve supporting non sequitur fans and the Steve sycophants who will not call Steve out even when he's so wrong that he's glowing green like a Grinch.
Yes, your last known address, even if it was 20 years ago, would be legal and proper way to have it.
Unless you tell the post office you moved, and people send you bulk mail or try to find you, and you have no other documentation saying you live somewhere else.
Bull, please, you've got to just give it up, dude. Give it up. Stop streaming. Stop.
Yeah,
that's where it's going to go.
So
that's why you're responsible. Sorry.
Those people are probably getting tired of taking your junk mail, Jason.
Okay.
Oh my God, dude. Those people are really sick of getting your junk mail, bro. Like, you better go to court because you could get sued anytime because your address is 20 years ago, man. You know, do you guys know what happens with people in civil cases? You guys ever heard what happens with civil cases where somebody's ordered to pay somebody a car or a YouTube channel or $5,000 and they just decide to say no? You know what ends up happening? Well, they'll have you believe that those people go to jail. They'll have you believe it's criminal, and you're automatically labeled a criminal. You've automatically held in contempt of the court. You're automatically charged with a crime. You're automatically a felon. You're automatically going straight to jail. Do not pass go. Do not pass non sequitur avenue. Do not collect 200 smoking nuns. That's what they'll have you believe. You do know in reality, though, if you sue somebody in civil court and they don't want to pay you, you're pretty much screwed, right? You do know this. I'm just saying. That's just normal like shit here. This one's just too funny. This clip, I don't think it relates to anything I'm talking about, but this is the funniest clip I've ever seen.
Making false allegations just for views. If you think that I'm a drama queen and I'm doing that, please explain to me why, when everything we've been explaining is from actual lawyers, from actual testimonies, and it is not about the drama. It is about to the fans of the Non Sequitur Show,
busy.
to the subscribers of this channel, the members of this channel, that I think deserve to have honesty, rather than these people going around manipulating facts, taking things out of context, actively lying about people, actively making stuff up about them, and cyberbullying them. So if you're going to put me in that category of a drama queen, I would like to know the evidence for that. Because
oh, baby. I didn't see this clip until right before I started this show. So let's do him the favor. Let's do it. Let's have a little bit of fun, guys. Let's do Grinchy Poo a favor, and let's actually give him what he asked for. Let's play this nice and slow. Let's pause it, and let's let him know the evidence. Wouldn't that be nice? Busy, you better shut your face. Whoa, okay. Chill, dude. I don't want any of that. Okay, let's play through and let's break this down.
About people making false allegations just for views. If you think that I'm a
false allegations just for views. What about everything you said about Katie Joy Paulson that I debunked with evidence? Sent you the packet of evidence and you ignored all of it and labeled me a bad guy. Labeled me a troll. Thank you, whoever did that. That's a dono that just came through. You know when you dono, it says expose me, boomer. He's going boom, boom, pal. Thank you for the dono. If you want to hear that sound effect, you know what to do. You got me? You know what to do. All right. So, he says...
about people making false allegations.
Making false allegations. Everything about him attacking Katie Joy. Literally 200 plus hours of YouTube streams. All of the major facts, the major points he made against her, the ones that were he used repeatedly that were looked at by the community, have been factually debunked. The major claims, not any claim about YouTube content like her coverage of Teen Mom 4 sucked. But the claim, because he did say that a lot, but the claims that actually mattered about her filing false strikes, I don't need to break that down, right? So factually, Steve, you could watch Versus Mode Part 2 on my channel and a couple other videos and see that that is a perfect definition. It's a provable fact that you did those things. That also you privating your Twitter, privating your Facebook, all that stuff was you trying to lay low because everybody was messaging you, telling you to go live on your channel and correct the misinformation you put out about Katie. You've yet to do that. And you are ignoring the evidence that your shit towards Katie is debunked like a flat earther ignores the evidence of the globe. That is what you're doing. That's what Nathan Oakley does. When someone comes up on his show and proves the globe with hard evidence, they yell, they scream, they lay low for a while. You are exactly what you just said. But we need to break this down further.
Just for views. If you think that I'm...
Don't tell us that you didn't attack Katie Joy just for views. She was getting between 50,000 and 150,000 views per day. Her Social Blade data for some of the months that she made on YouTube showed thousands and thousands, not just a few thousands, thousands and thousands of dollars being made in ad revenue for a base CPM from Katie's channel when you were attacking her. You did that just for views, and that's also why you avoided the evidence that you were wrong. You did.
I'm a drama queen, and I'm doing that. Please explain to me why, when everything we've been explaining is...
I just explained it to you, but if you're going to try to deflect from your mistakes in attacking Katie Joy, your mistakes in attacking Nate Brody, your mistakes in attacking Anti-Ordinary, your mistakes in attacking Dragnot, your mistakes in attacking me, and you want to place focus to non sequitur, I can help you out because I've got some clips to show.
Is from actual lawyers, from actual testimony, and it is not about the...
That's not true. You have not even stood in front of the judge yet. Your lawyer's been doing all of this. All the information you've been getting about this case is being funneled through your lawyer. It is your lawyer's job. He is literally paid to make you happy. You are taking what that lawyer says, you're filtering it through your narcissistic, sociopathic brain, and you're spitting it out to your viewers, giving them false information about what's going on about this case. You did it last night when you broke down process serving. Because everybody there is an adult. You finally got so cocky that you lied about things that are easy, simple to go prove. A lot of the things he lies about, you would need to rewind back into the history of non sequitur a year or a year and a half, like I've done, in order to find the evidence that shows he's lying about something. Last night, you could just do a basic Google search.
The drama. It is about to the fans of the Non Sequitur Show, to the subscribers of this channel, the members of this channel.
You don't care about the fans of the Non Sequitur Show. I was a fan of the Non Sequitur Show to a small extent. You don't care about the fans of Non Sequitur, and you cannot pretend like you do. You got, I believe Kyle had 160 patrons on the Non Sequitur account. And then after you attacked Kyle and after other YouTubers rose to defend you, like me, you took that Patreon down to 7 or 10. And your Patreon went from like 10 people up to like 140 or 150. All of this data is available on the website Grapheon, by the way, if you want to search it and see it for yourself and fact check me. Steve McRae factually, provably, with hard data, took all the viewers, all the Patreon members from Non Sequitur and got them to come join his Patreon. He also had a lot of people unsubscribe from Non Sequitur, and his channel was around 4,000 or 5,000 subs. It went up to about 10 or 11,000 after that happened. So he gained the people that were at Non Sequitur that left. They went to Steve's channel. They went to his Patreon. He had the viewership. He had a channel that just grew to over 10,000 subs and a Patreon that literally boosted out because of this happening. If he cared about the viewers of Non Sequitur in any way, shape, or form, he would be doing a show. He has not done a show. You can shit on Kyle Curtis from here to Jupiter and back, okay? If you want to, you can. But you can't deny that he actually scheduled shows. He actually picked topics. He actually wrote down an outline for the show, got guests, made graphics, made the things he needed to make to put on a show for you. Kind of like I do, kind of like other people do. He put time and effort into content that would validate a payment from Patreon or a donation, and then did the content. That's the only reason why Steve McRae has any type of internet presence whatsoever. It's from an old, dead show that turned into a dead meme. If he cared about the viewership at all, he would have looked at that Patreon and said, I want to give those people what they used to have over there, and I'll just do it on this new channel that just gained all of their subscriptions. He hasn't done that one time since leaving Non Sequitur. He's spent all of his time trying to convince you that he's honorable, that he is telling the truth, that Kyle is a horrible person, that Katie Joy is a horrible person, that Mr. Atheist is a horrible person, that Godless Engineer is a horrible person. He cherry picks tweets because on Twitter, since you only have so many characters, it's the perfect place for a cherry picking narcissist to be able to warp out anything anyone else says into a fashion that can support their narrative. That is true. That's why a lot of us hate Twitter, like me. I hate it. I don't use it that often. But Why not just do non sequitur then if you care about them? You care about these people that you have been collecting money from for at least 10 months without giving them a proper show one time. Not one thing that's happened here could rival what they used to do at non sequitur. You can't just get a bunch of your friends together and have them kiss your bum and then say, this is the new non sequitur show, everybody. You understand where I'm coming from?
That I think deserve to have honesty rather than these people going around manipulating facts.
Well, you've been lying to those people that are subscribed to your channel for a year. You lied to me. You lied to the other creators out there. You're lying to them about process serving. You've lied to them about the 50-50. You lied to them about the terms. You lied about having a contract. I could go on forever, so I won't. This is why you say these things every time you get mad. Because you feel like since there's this lie in your head that you're worried about, when you lie, you worry about it. You worry about slipping the truth out, making a mistake. And because it's in the front of your mind so much, all you can do while you're talking angrily is revert back to reinforcing lies that you've been telling. And that's why you've done nothing for a year but repeat constantly and consistently the same tired narratives. You aren't honest. Provably, you're not honorable. You think Earl Warden is honorable. I've got the clips. I've got it recorded. If we got to bust it out, we can. Earl Warden, who right now is on trial for doing things to his own daughter after being accused 20 years ago of dressing up as a police officer and doing things to 4 innocent people that no one should do without going to prison for the entirety of their lives. Since he got off on it, now he's being charged with doing it to his own little girl. And he's honorable in Steve's eyes. I have the clips right now if I do have to play them. My point is that you're not honorable. My point is you're saying it over and over again to convince the people from non-sec. Now, a lot of people want to say, why do the people that used to watch non-sec believe Steve? They don't spend a lot of time on the internet. The minute they see hard evidence that he's lying, like last night, they start to speak up when they're there. But a lot of the times, they're just doing normal things. They're barely watching. They're used to tuning in and seeing Katie Joy being attacked. And they just tune out. Right? Now that the teen moms are leaving, he's forced back to talking about non sequitur constantly. And this is what you get. A tired narrative repeating.
Facts, taking things out of context, actively lying about people, actively making stuff.
Well, that's what you're doing right here. I mean, for God's sakes, if you're not lying, why are you so scared to debate me? If I'm so dumb, like you told everybody that I was so dumb, you wondered, quote, how I could even tie my shoes. You were speaking about me. Yet, I'm such a dummy that you can't debate me over the Katie Joy situation and the non sequitur situation on Modern Day Debate. And Modern Day Debate has hosted debates over non sequitur with Rob and T-Jump, or Ron and T-Jump, and with Science First and Reds and other people. Why would Modern Day Debate deny the debate? They wouldn't deny the debate. It'd be a huge debate. They'd love it. It would generate a shit ton of donations for charity. James knows this. You know this. I know this. You see where I'm going with this? Why are you so scared to debate me if I'm such a liar, if I'm such a ding-dong? I mean, it couldn't be because I can literally back up everything I say about you with clips like I've been doing in my edited videos. That couldn't be the problem, could it? That you're lying, that you're making this stuff up
About them and cyberbullying them. So if
you had the nerve last night to say that other people are cyberbullying people. Have you looked at the definition of cyberbullying? Have you seen that what you did to Katie Joy Paulson is the literal definition, regardless of how you spin it, it is the literal definition of targeted harassment. It is the literal definition of cyberbullying. I put out screenshots of you in several closed Facebook groups where you admitted you were there and an administrator of them to defend yourself from being in a teen mom group. You admitted that you were in these groups as an administrator that do nothing daily but talk about Katie Joy Paulson. You're in them now, which means you've been in them since you started railing her for all this time. And you've done nothing in those groups. The screenshots I showed had you calling her horrible names, talking about her looks, talking about her kid, talking about her husband, trying to campaign to refer to her child as person A so that you could refer to the child, but have an excuse to say, hey, don't give me crap. We're calling them person A. It doesn't matter who it is. It's person A. It's hypothetical. You see where I'm going here? This is the definition of targeted harassment and cyberbullying. This is a lie. You are lying. You are the cyberbully.
You're going to put me in that category of a drama queen?
We're going to put you in the category of a liar, a narcissist, a sociopath, a drama queen. Do we need to go on? Because you're just going to get mad. You're just going to get mad and shake while your head turns red.
I would like to know the evidence for that, because nothing about this drama...
You would like to know the evidence for that. Well, I just gave you a concise clip, the last 7 minutes of this video, that literally details where you can find it and everything, every bit of evidence that shows that you are a complete manipulative liar. Just watch this stream and then go do a little bit of digging and you'll be good to go.
Channel is about drama. We've responded.
Your channel is admittedly about drama. You, again, have to lie. Why are you so against saying your channel is about drama? I'll admit that we're doing drama right now. You, though, cannot. What else are you lying about, McCrae? I would say that if I didn't know.
Responded to certain things, but this is about a $100,000 lawsuit. If you
$100,000 lawsuit. You've been given the books. You know that the best thing you could say about Non Sequitur was that he made, you guys made, maybe what, $40-some thousand total. So it's not a $100,000 lawsuit. You just lied again. But you're not entitled to all that money. You're entitled to split that money at best. That's even if you're entitled to any of it at all. So what is half of 40-some thousand? A low 20 at best. You just can't tell the truth, can you?
If you think that's drama, then I don't think that you understand what that word drama means.
No, that's the problem, McCrae. You don't understand what words mean. It's why you ended up having a problem with R and Raw a long time ago. That's back when the actual atheist / agnostic / debate community expelled you from the debate community when they realized that you are not smart. We've actually done a little more digging to find out you're not a genius either. You're not even a high IQ individual, factually, provably. Do we need to hear the last 2 seconds?
And
it's just bull saying and, which is what he's employed to do by Steve, if you didn't know. It's his entire job to say and. That's what he does. That's what he pays bull for, to say and every once in a while. Oh, what's this?
He had said he had moved. This is why I said that it wasn't his I said it was an old address, right? I remember I said that very specifically. And
did you hear him? Keep listening, because we're going to go into this.
Some disreputable people have latched on that and said to him, "Hey, look, he served an address."
Disreputable people latched onto this. So all the fans of Non Sequitur are disreputable people. Everybody that knows the truth is a disreputable person. You do realize every lying criminal sociopathic scumbag doesn't accept that they are a lying criminal sociopathic scumbag, don't you? Have you ever gone to a prison and polled them to find out how many claim to be innocent? Have you ever heard that it's like 99%? Even though the majority of people there have been proven to do it with actual videotapes and hard evidence and DNA? Yet they'll still say they're innocent. The worst people in the world will never, ever admit when they do something wrong. I've never heard Steve McCrae admit to doing something wrong, ever. Yet, he is consistently telling you every person who criticizes him is a very, very evil, bad person. When are people going to wake up to actually start to say to themselves, you know, I can't trust everything this guy says. I'm going to have to start actually fact-checking him at some point. Okay? Because when you do that, that's when you stop being a fan. It's when you start to hate him. You realize how many lies he's told. He's such an innocent kind of scumbag. He is, because he looks like an old innocent boomer. He's like, he couldn't hurt a fly. Then you find out he's got a closet full of dead flies and he lives in it with his computer. You get what I'm saying? Let's get into the lawsuit, though, and the problem that has caused his group to have the nervous breakdown that's led to the shit fest that we are seeing in front of us. right now. That was a mouthful, Busy. Thanks for putting that on the teleprompter, big guy. No, thank you. I love that kind of stuff. I love that stuff. Thanks. It was a laugh. You gotta laugh. There you go. He redeemed a laugh, not a cry, Busy. There, thank you. Give him a couple of them. Make he has to pay for it. He has to pay for making you laugh by hearing you laugh. All right. Where were we? Where were we? I had to run to the potty really quick. Oh, yeah, that's right. We're right here. Hit the play button, ding-dong face.
He had said he had moved. This is why I said that it wasn't his I said it was an old address, right? I remember I said that very specifically. And some disreputable people have latched on that and said to him, "Hey, look, he served an address he knew that wasn't your correct address. That's false. That's a false service, right? That
is false service. My God, bro, do you realize that if you were in Kyle's shoes, you would be complaining about how you didn't get served at the right address right now? This is what, like I said this in my video from the other day, this is what exposes you, dude. This is what causes so many people to not follow you anymore. It's what causes content creators to stop supporting you, stop hanging out with you. They criticize you because you are so atrociously wrong. Because in the very least, you should be arguing that he has some argument, right? But because it's bad for your image in this whole situation, you're not even willing to give him that. You have to be able to give him that at least, dude, right?
That's not legal, which is completely wrong.
It's completely wrong that it is legal. You're saying it's completely legal. And this is what, and I'll read those in just a minute, guys, that Cheshire said something to the effect of, if you lived somewhere 20 years ago and you get served, you will lose the court case for not going, even though you didn't get served. Why is there a job called process servers then? Have you ever seen these? This job is real. People dress up as like a pizza guy. And they find out what pizza place you order from. They work something out with the pizza guy manager, like some money, and they deliver your pizza. They hand it to you. They cash you out. They look at the credit card. They look at you, and then they're like, oh, here's this. They hand you the envelope, and they're like, you just got served. You ever see? I mean, my God, bro, there was like a TV show about this once. It's not imaginary. They got to pay people to do this stuff, dude. You're literally saying that job is useless. There's no reason for it. Of course there is. You could make a good argument if you were a genius, had a high IQ, actually did do something with nuclear engineering like you try to convince everybody you've done when you haven't. We learned the truth there too, big guy. You could actually make a good argument. What would a good argument be? Well, Kyle not getting served isn't going to change anything, y'all. I could see that as a good argument. Yeah, that would be all right. Kyle not getting served, you can reference North Carolina Law 63 Statute .2 BAC that says that your mama can be served and you can still lose a court case, which, by the way, there is no statute that says that. That's another great thing that Nate Brody has done, and that's why you should follow Brody. Am I following him? Thank God, because I would have looked really dumb if I wasn't. That's why you should follow him, because he actually does this. Look at what Nate Brody found about service of process in North Carolina from the second highest court in North Carolina. This, I think, is about to debunk what you just said in that clip, which is you lying again, purposefully. This is what McCrae does. I proved it in the Katie case. I proved it in the other cases with him. He takes something when he knows he's wrong. He overtly and openly and just insanely lies about it. I don't know how I combined overly into overtly in a sentence, but I did it. He lies about it. He pushes it as hard as he can, and he gets Cheshire and Reds and Bull to sit there and take his back with it, and they just twist it and morph it and turn it, and then when people clip it and it comes up later, they deny that it ever happened, and they continue the cycle. But this is a statute by a lawyer who did a little digging into the North Carolina statute. Here's what it says. Take a nice, good listen. It's boring, so I'll try to do it fast. Generally, where a statute specifically prescribes a method by which to notify a party against whom a proceeding is commenced, service of the summons and complaint must be accomplished in that manner. Thomas and Howard, 2002. While a defective service of process may give the defending party sufficient and actual notice of the proceeding, such actual notice does not give the court jurisdiction over the party. Absent valid service of a process, a court does not acquire personal jurisdiction over the defendant, and the action must be dismissed. Glover v. Farmer, 97. I could go on and on and on because there's a lot more examples here, but in the end, you're lying. You are knowingly saying something that's not. Oh, like when you said that Katie false struck somebody so that you ran a GoFundMe campaign to take $1,200 from the community that you make content for. Actually, can I even say that? Okay, you don't make content for the community that you service. You live stream. You don't even really do that because you don't do a show. What do? You sit and talk to a community, and for some reason, people keep paying you. You don't need content. You don't need an actual thing you're trying to do. You don't need to sit down and pull a bunch of tabs and study a situation for a long period of time so that then you can take those tabs of information and go through them in a specific order so that a message is conveyed from the beginning to the end of your presentation. You don't do that in your streams. You literally just press a button and lie. How many different examples do I have to show before you finally accept it? You are doing this on purpose. The only thing that's going to save you here is if you're honest. The same thing I've told every other person that had this happen. Just be real with everybody. Apologize. You're good to go. You can't. The worst kind of narcissists can't apologize. It's just a thing. Or if they do, it's going to be so fake and so self-serving, like a lot of YouTube apologies, ironically. Anyway, Nate Brody did a great job breaking this all down in his video from today, and I was supposed to get him in with Anti-Ordinary yesterday, and I fell asleep, they fell asleep, but still, we could take a look at Brody's video breakdown right here and get a little bit of a sum up from this awesome stream that he did. So let's find a good part of it. I think this is a good part of it because he actually plays a clip. Let Nate Brody take it away. Nate will be on this show soon. We're going to make it happen with Anti-Ordinary. I just got to get my schedule down.
This. And here we go. Twitter. Justin. Over Go. I keep saying here we go, but we're not going anywhere. All right, here's the
What about busy, baby?
audio, and let's play it. Now, this is evidence.
I'll be hitting all those super chats in just a few minutes, Leroy. Just give me some time, my dude. I got you. I got you.
Oh, I had to. What I did was, I in the original papers that I was served. 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 Papers that I was served.
Okay, so let's just. Oh, it's a tip for the host. Plus, you weren't muted, buddy. Oh shit! I have to just cut that out later.
Don't cut it out, please.
All right. So,
please don't cut it out.
Cut this off. So let's just make it very clear. So we have it seemingly an admission from Kyle Curtis saying that I was served, right?
Well, kind of, because what in the hell is that? What is it? How do we know they didn't take something he said a long time ago and record it? I have no clue what the hell that is. They won't. They've been pressed to give a source to that. They won't. The people that put it out, they're constantly being pressed to give a source, and they keep saying no, or they ignore people. I don't get it. Why don't you? Give the source out so people can use it. No one's going to use it until you give the source.
So Kyle Curtis says, hey, I was served. I was served. But now let's look at the North Carolina. Let's look at this is one of the controlling cases in North Carolina. And they're going to describe to us that if someone wasn't served, the difference between service, where someone says I was served, but being served properly as a matter of law. So let's check that out. Let's see what the case law says about whether if someone was just served or if someone was served properly, if there's any difference. Because again, the argument is, and let's remember what the argument is. The argument is that Kyle Curtis has admitted to being served, and that even if that service was improper,
if that clip is actually legit in any way, okay, but we know this group of people put out fake stuff constantly, like the several fake things they put out about Katie Joy and other people, but we'll just stick with Katie Joy's as an example now. So yeah, if they give a source, fine, but...
Oh, I won't. But now, even if the service was not proper, that essentially it should be counted as good because it was served.
Well, I get some people say it came from Discord, but can't they give us the source of it? Like, give us an actual, a file or something. I mean, shit, they didn't put it on YouTube? You're telling me they never put that on YouTube?
Served. So let's look at that.
See, the cool thing about YouTube is it puts a date to it. It puts a time to it, right?
So I'm going to screen share now.
Now, you want to know what's cool? I have all the recordings of Kyle in Discord. I have them. So if I wanted to, I could assign a couple people to go through those recordings and try to find that exact spot to see if it kind of matches up and all that, and where it is and what day and all that. You know what I'm saying? But that doesn't matter. Listen to Nate Brody. He's going to hook you up.
This is from the...
You can't kill off McCrazy. What about Heretic? Thank you, my dude. I appreciate you. Also, we've got Single Now Uni. Did you a fave? You are man enough to be here. Uni, you. Thank you, Single. What about Busy, says Leroy. Thanks, guys. I appreciate you. You help keep this show going.
Second highest court in North Carolina. So let's see what they say.
So basically, I'm going to go ahead and cut Nate off at this part and go to the next clip he plays, because Nate is going to say what everybody else is saying. It doesn't matter if he admits to being served. What matters is that he was served. I know it sounds crazy, guys. It's one of those constitutional things that has to happen. All right. YouTube, do you mind? Can you actually work for me? Oh, is it finally popping up? Is that from earlier? Yeah, that's okay. Good. So back to what I was saying here. It is a valid thing that he's putting in front of the judge. It truly is. regardless of whether people want
I
to
won't.
admit that or
But now,
not.
even if the service
YouTube, regardless of whether people want to admit it or not, he is valid to do this to the judge and use it as a chance to restart this case, to get everything thrown out. Now, here's the way he will be able to do it. Let's imagine that Kyle submits this to the court. Now, Steve gets a chance to rebut it. So he's going to come back and rebut it. Then Kyle's going to try to rebut it and say something to the effect of, here's all my evidence, or here's this, or here's that. Get yourself a Red Bull, my dude. Angry Roach, I missed you, my man. Thank you. Appreciate you. And I will. Why will I get myself a Red Bull? Does anyone know? What is going on here, you guys? Are you having a donation war? Because if you are, I will be very happy about that. Yeah, every time I crack a Red Bull, a Grinch loses his wings. It's a fact. It's a fact. I'm just saying, I wouldn't have an animation for it if it wasn't a fact. It would be really cool if, guess what Kyle could do? Kyle could use Steve as his witness. Like if the judge says, I need a witness who says for a fact that you didn't get served at your residence. He could call Steve. Kyle could call Steve as his witness, and Steve would either have to lie to the judge and say, I don't know if he got served, or he did get served, and then Kyle could play those clips. What clips, you ask? There are many, and I'll play more for you as the night goes on. But Kyle could actually use Steve as the witness to knowing that he didn't live where he was served, because Steve has admitted it like 9 times. We've got a supercut of a lot of the times he said it. Wouldn't that be funny, though? Like, Kyle, the judge says, I need evidence that you weren't served. And he says, well, I can get someone to testify for you that you know really well, Judge. Oh, yeah? Who? Steve McRae. He's admitted it 9 times. He's recorded all these times saying it. Wouldn't that be funny? That would make my day. I think it would make my week.
this was not.
And I'm telling you, he could do that. Yes, he could do it. Oh, yes, he could. I hope he does. Are you listening, Kyle? I hope you do.
Proper. That essentially it should be counted as good because it was served. So let's look at that. So I'm going to screen share now. This is from the second highest.
Oh, I think I just read this to you guys. Okay, my YouTube's acting funky anyway. I don't know why it's being so ding-dongy dumb there, but...
People making false allegations just for views. If you think that I'm a drama queen and I'm doing that, please explain to me why, when everything we've been explaining is from actual lawyers, from actual testimony, and it is not about the drama. It is about...
Wait, what was the last thing you said here, big guy? Right before Bull butts in?
But this is about a $100,000 lawsuit. If you think that's drama, then I don't think that you understand what that word drama means.
And
about people making false allegations.
Oh, I thought you said something about GoFundMe campaigns, because let's go ahead and jump into this, because I've got some stuff to show you. So I've shown you many videos from a YouTube channel called Trolls versus Trolls, right? Well, they put out a new banger today. Wait, that's not it. That's from August 22nd. Hold up. They put out a brand new banger today that everybody needs to, or it was yesterday. God damn it. No, it was today. They put out lots of videos every day. Let's take a listen.
Down, cause he just want to learn something, so I teach him something. I am the one that teach. Call me 10 wins and 20.
But with that, we actually do have a purpose with everything that Sean and JC are facing. With the extended circumstances of the reason for their road trip, there's a reason why the description.
Oh, thank you, Jules. I love you, twosies.
Description only has one thing in there. It is the link to Sean Hufford's PayPal. That way he can be recouped the funds that were unceremoniously taken from him by the former roommate.
Oh, okay.
By the
Let me
former
talk about this, Jared.
Hmm?
First of all, Jared, were you actually about to call me Sean Hufford?
Pufford, yeah, it was. I stopped myself. I
caught that, but anyway.
AT2 gets what he's always wanted, a spot on my show.
What happened?
Oh my goodness, come on. Let me turn that off just until I'm done with this one clip. Trolls versus trolls. He loves to troll. At least he admits it. At least he admits that he's a troll. So, let me explain it while it tries to load. For some reason, YouTube cannot load on my PC for like 3 minutes every time I play a clip. When I'm only live, I need to turn off browser acceleration. There's this Discord server out there, and the rumor is, it's just a rumor. I don't know the exact details, but there is a server that's been full of people who donated to a GoFundMe. They started to find out some details about it, and I've got a full breakdown of it right here that I was going to read to you today. Because a new investigation has been launched by this crack team of Discord professionals. Okay, May of 2019 held in 2 parts. First, a special hidden now towards the end of May. The second part on Red somewhere between the 1st of June and the 19th.
Taken from.
There it goes. We'll get there in a second. The target of the GoFundMe, $10,000. The purpose was to move Sean to Florida to get a job that Reds organized. Supposedly, no employer would employ him once he turned up for a face-to-face interview. Reason for $10K, Sean had a 12-month lease that had to be paid out. That is a little weird. You've got to have $10,000 so that you can move. And if you leave, you know that you can get out of a lease like that by finding a tenant to take over your lease. Did you know that? It makes it so that you don't have to do a GoFundMe for $9,000. You could only do it for the $1,000 you need. But just saying, Sean had a 12-month lease that had to be paid out. There was much more than 6 months to go. The actual move. The second he moved to his girlfriend's place, there was more than one car trip. During one car trip, a startup of Psystrike movie night, no specified target. Reason: the money from the first GoFundMe campaign was stolen from a joint account that he had with a flatmate. Raised a lot less than the first, to the best info that this individual has. Maybe 1,000, few hundred, something like that. And for some reason, this is written in it, AT2 was involved. Well, that's led a lot of people who are looking into this to look at the amount of fundraisers that AT2 Productions has something to do with. The number is astronomical when it comes to fundraisers. In fact, we've got a fundraiser for Mr. Productions. That's what I'll call him now. That's not it. That's a different. I've got so many of these. I literally have so many of these fundraisers in front of me, I can barely even show them to you.
For the past couple months.
Oh my God, YouTube. Don't start with me again. I don't want to have to talk for another 2 minutes while you load. Hold on. Let me close my my live window here. I'll just do it that way.
I have had a lot of things going on in the background.
We know you have. We've, in fact, found out about many things you've had going on in the background. You dox and fool you.
Both personally and professionally.
Oh, wait. Busy? Get it ready for me.
And during dealing with all of my own individual stuff and things that have really compounded the stress level that I've been dealing with.
Oh my goodness, you're telling me that you have stress in your life? You that has time to go around looking up people's locations and then threatening them with their location. You've got stress in your life, and everyone on the internet should feel bad for you.
Something has come across and made itself abundantly apparent to me. There is a woefully underserved segment of this nation's population.
Oh my God, I can't even listen to it. What did you even read the script before you read it? What? Hello, I'm AT2 Productions. I have such a hard life, personal and private. You'd never understand how bad my life is. There's a woefully underwhelmed proportion of the public. Really? Really?
Specifically, a large portion of the veterans out there.
You can't even keep your voice from shaking during this recording, can you, Mr. Productions?
And this channel did start with the purpose and primary avenue of bringing veterans together.
Really? Bringing veterans together? Well, I can tell you what I can prove you've been doing for the last few years. You've been bringing GoFundMe campaigns together. You've got a hand in more GoFundMe campaigns on the internet than anyone I know. That's an actual fact, dude. Literally, you have a hand. You are talking, you are babbling, you are lying your way through more GoFundMe campaigns. And you know what's funny? This dude got mad at me once and started giving me shit for having a Patreon. He started to give me shit for having a PayPal link. This guy, who has done like 10 GoFundMe campaigns that I can find from a basic search.
Not just so we can shoot the shit and have a grand old time. That was a byproduct of it.
No, that was not a byproduct of it. You don't even know how to tell a story.
Really, what
that is what you do. I think that's your life, bro.
What it's more about has been to address more of the issues and allow an avenue to bring more light to what we face as veterans in today's day and age and how.
Well, maybe, it's weird, dude, because, like, you're one of the most braggart people I've ever seen on the internet, bro. You brag so much, bro. Like, your stories are just, I would sum all of them up by using the word braggart. Expert braggart. I like that. Expert braggart.
How it has differed from those of the past.
Well, Single, you're awesome. Thank you. I love what you say during your donations because I can never figure it out. So I love it. Thank you. I love you.
Throughout all of that, I have been so surprised and immensely humbled at the amount of charity that actually is out there from.
You're an expert also, not just in bragging, but you are an expert in the amount of charity that's out there. You're definitely an expert in the amount of charity that random strangers are willing to give to campaigns where you are hovering. You hover around them like you're gaining something from them. You hover around all these GoFundMe campaigns like you have something to do with all of them. You don't, do you?
The viewership. And recently I have actually had the need to where I needed to reach out for some assistance.
You need to reach out for some assistance. Did you say assistance? Let me hear that again.
Recently I have actually had the need to where I needed to reach out for some assistance.
Okay.
On my own.
On your own. Oh, nice.
And it's actually still in a...
I wonder if you have some type of like looming reputation for needing assistance on your own. I wonder if there's this looming reputation behind you that could be investigated if somebody ever wanted to, that you constantly rip people off or have something to do with someone who's ripping other people off. And I don't just mean on the internet. I wonder if that is probable. I'm wondering. I'm wondering.
A precarious situation. However, it's not just about me. It's not just an individual cause or effort.
What is busy supposed to be? I can't figure it out. He's a crackhead. You are too a crackhead. Well, why don't you stop then? You just did it. You just did it.
It's what
He's a
I've found
crackhead.
is that my situation is not much different than many others, where you can be in a position of need and meet the majority of check marks from all different aid agencies.
What in the Sam hell kind of bullshit are you spitting? Did you even listen to this before you uploaded it? Like, did you play it back, write down the words that are coming out of your mouth, and read them a couple times just to hear the bullshit that you're spitting out of your mouth? Do you think any person that's over the age of 10 is going to listen to you saying these words who isn't a complete moron and not realize there's something very wrong with what you're doing?
But you couldn't be screwed by being in that case where, well, but you don't meet this one or this one.
You know what's weird? You are constantly in need, but you claim to be a veteran. I believe you're a veteran. You know the VA will take you in when you're absolutely destitute and homeless and give you a roof, a place to stay, 3 meals a day. They'll give you medical, glasses, fix your teeth, give you clothes to wear. Then, while you're staying there, they'll give you a job on campus. While getting you a job off of campus, get you arranged with an apartment, a place to live, and a job to do, and a car so that you can get back and forth to work or some type of transportation. Then they'll help you move into the place they got you, get you on your feet, and help you stay there. And if you have a history of not being able to manage your money, they will manage your money for you to make sure that your bills get paid, your rent gets paid. They have all these different programs that you fit if your mouth that runs constantly describes your service in any way, shape, or form. You know how I know this? Because I'm a veteran. I am almost completely disabled now through the VA. I know what they do to help people. I know what programs are there. You're running GoFundMe campaigns constantly for just hard cash. That's it. You did a GoFundMe. It's almost like you're challenging somebody that you've doxed or somebody that you've fucked with or someone you've lied about or someone that you can constantly troll in their live chat even though you pretend like you're not every day. It's almost like you're challenging that person to just read your GoFundMe to everyone.
So we can't help you. We see you're in need. We feel for you, but...
That's a lie. You are lying, and I will prove it if I have to. You fit the bill for the type of aid at the VA where if you were just destitute and homeless, if you need a job, if you need medical, because of how much you've run your mouth online, you factually can be proven to fit the bill for so many programs. How in the Sam hell are you needing to run or be a part of this many GoFundMe campaigns? How? It just doesn't make sense, my dude. Personally.
Because you are not a 100%.
Because you're not 100%. Because you're not 100. Well, guess what I've been? I've been the lowest percent. Then I've been the mid-range percent. Then I've been the highest percent. Guess what? You don't even have to have a percent disability rating to get assistance for housing or for homelessness through the VA. Oh, it's true. Oh, you lying.
Disability rating from the VA or...
Let's hear this one more time because this is a public video. Let's hear your insane description of this again because you know what I think? I think that you, Red's Rhetoric, Sean, Steve, and a few others that you hang out with are doing the thing that you troll other YouTubers saying that they do. I think that's why you guys troll them that way. I think you're ripping the hell off of this community, hiding behind a couple creators that you've suckered into getting near you so that they can be like a defense shield and funnel more of these people to you that you can then con by lying to them about VA benefits and lying about what programs you're eligible for.
We see you're in need. We feel this
let's
one.
Let's hear this massive part of this again here, big guy.
Or this one, so we can't help you. We see you're in need.
No. Back a little further.
But
what?
You couldn't be screwed by being in that case where, well, but you don't meet this one or this one.
Well, guess what I did? AT2 Mr. Productions. I called the VA. I asked them. So let's hear what you got, and let's see if it's actually true or not.
So we can't help you. We see you're in need. We feel for you, but because you are not a 100% disability.
100%. You realize somebody who is 10%, which is the lowest rating, could walk in and get homeless assistance, job assistance, eye assistance for glasses. You could even, if you decide to take their assistance, you will get put into the VA. If they're full in your area, they will pay for the transportation to get you to a different VA, to get you to one where you can actually, they've got programs, and I've actually even found out where these are. And they're really close to all of us because they're everywhere, where they will rehabilitate you for PTSD, which you've claimed to have. They'll rehabilitate you for all these things and help you get housing, help you get a job, help you get transportation. You don't need a percentage to qualify for these programs. All you got to do is take your ass out there, talk to your social worker, and get it started. What in the hell are you talking about?
Rating from the VA, or you are not.
I wonder why you gotta keep clearing your throat and coughing throughout this bullshit. I mean, this speech.
You are not already on these other aid programs. We can't help you. I've grown sick and tired of people needing to hear that answer instead of
you, a guy who says that you need assistance constantly from the debunking community in the form of cash money while offering no content whatsoever, have been out criticizing people, YouTubers, creators, saying that they don't have a right to have a Patreon or a PayPal, even if it is their full-time job or it's something they do all the time, while at the same time having, you're so destitute, but yet you are literally, you have enough time to look up somebody else's location, threaten them with that location, troll people incessantly, brag about trolling people incessantly. Bet you didn't notice that you didn't realize you'd been bragging about it incessantly, and your buddy brags about doing it with you incessantly. Yeah, you know the buddy, the one that came into my Discord with you and Marvel Girl trying to get me to expose Fight to Flat Earth. Yeah, remember all that mess that happened? I think you have enough time to do all of this because you're lying.
We can't help you and leave it at that. I want to offer an avenue for people in that.
Let me go ahead and cut to the chase. This dingbat thought that he would try to dox me, threaten me with my location during a live stream while running a GoFundMe campaign, while at the same time being the recipient of all this assistance from different people that he claims he needs constantly over the last few years. He somehow thinks that he, this destitute veteran on hard times individual, can run a GoFundMe campaign where he takes money to help other veterans that are in need while he himself is destitute and in need. My aim and purpose is to start up a charitable business to fill the gap by the Department of Veterans Affairs and other aid groups. This will be a non-profit with the purpose of helping veterans not eligible for other moderate and immediate aid programs. Is that even a full sentence? The aid offered will not solely be financial, but also counseling to veterans. Can you show us direct evidence of how much of the hundreds of dollars you took in for this BS that you actually gave to a veteran that is nowhere near you, that you do not know, that you have no connection to? And how in the hell are you going to start a business by doing a GoFundMe campaign that aims to do this when there are literally so many other charities that do this that you could have just raised money for? I think you can't keep money when you give money to a charity, and I think you can keep money when you run your own business, and that's why you chose it that way. But that's just my opinion. I'm just giving my opinion, dude. That's what we do here on the internet, remember? Every day, there are an average of 22 former service members that make the choice to off themselves instead of continuing the fight. Exactly. So if you actually call the VA, they have emergency programs to literally pick up any veteran that feels this way even slightly. They have people that will drive straight to them wherever they are and grab them and take them to get help. They have a phone number you can call to initiate this service. They've got places that you can go where you will be admitted and cared for regardless of your level of disability. And I just called and double checked all of this recently. Some have even made the choice to do this in the VA parking. Damn, this just sounds like a bunch of virtues. What does this have to do with your business? A charity that you're creating here on GoFundMe that you advertised on several flat earth debunking YouTube channels. What does that have to do with this? I'm in the mindset that this is an unacceptable turn of events and needs to be addressed as immediately and effectively as possible. This is literally like a 12-year-old tried to con somebody out of cookie money or freaking soda money and typed up a little thing to go give around in the neighborhood. I don't know. It's almost like a kid wrote this. The total funding is to cover startup costs, including but not limited to all required filing and establishment fees, office location, and associated overhead. You've got to be kidding me. You got to be joking. You were taking this GoFundMe campaign when you admitted to looking up my physical location of me and my family and threatening me with it. You realize this, right, big guy? As well as to provide initial operation budget to begin offering aid with the target date of 15 January 2020. Well, that's right around the date in which you did that. Help me help those in need and being left behind by the other organizations. Become a donor or an equity partner today. Angel Investment Network Business Proposals, Veterans in Need. Only thing I'll say to end that out, very interesting. Very, very interesting. All right, we got Nate in the Discord server, so let me finish up the GoFundMe discussion, and then we'll bring Nate in to talk about the court thing. Then we'll head over to the and if is Anti, we'll tag Anti-Ordinary. Anti's more than welcome to jump in too, and if we can't get Anti in now, we can bring Anti tomorrow or whenever. So let me finish this little part out right here, and then we'll get to it right here. Well, you see what's interesting about this GoFundMe campaign is that if you search for good old AT2, you find out that there's just a lot of weird stuff you find. It's just some of the strangest stuff you've ever seen. There are these stories of him, one of his family members owning a business, and it had something to do with cats or animals, and it ended up getting in trouble because it didn't do anything that it advertised to the animals. And lo and behold, who's the guy who helps run the business? Yeah, this guy. There's information. Now, this could be completely BS, but it's weird that it's all out there. There's information on Ripoff Report. There's information out there that, I mean, if you go look at the amount of fundraising campaigns, whether it's him trying to help somebody who wants to start content on YouTube but can't start content on YouTube because they are broke and they need to pay their rent. So since you guys watch, like, you know, some debunking channel, they want you to go and then watch this future channel after everybody gives them an initial startup fee to pay their rent and do some content. But then months later, the person that was offering this content and making these promises only ends up uploading 1 or 2 videos a month after receiving this money from Patreon and GoFundMe and PayPal and stuff. And every single time that a GoFundMe campaign comes up around these guys, it's frivolous. The target of what they say they're going to do with the money never ends up happening. And thank goodness, finally, there are actually people out there who were consisting with receipts of people that donated to some of these GoFundMe campaigns held by Red's Rhetoric. Many of them Red's Rhetoric, AT2 Productions, Sean Hufford, Steve McRae. It's kind of strange because it's almost like a reverse, pyramid scheme. Steve always has something to do with it. Then AT2, Sean, some of these guys, Reds always gets mixed in. It's almost like clockwork. It's like once every 3 weeks to a month, they've got some other different GoFundMe with a different channel. And then once the channel gets the GoFundMe money, that channel goes around advertising these guys and fighting for these guys and fighting for their opinion in live chats and comments. It's really crazy the way it works. The main thing is, though, why do you criticize a GoFundMe, a Patreon, or a creator? You logically have to think about why. So if a creator does content, then you know what content they do. You donate to their Patreon if you like what they do. Okay. What about a GoFundMe campaign? What's the criteria for criticizing one? Well, if you tell people what you're doing with the money, then when they donate to you, everything's all good because they knew what they were giving the money to. If you don't do what you told them you're going to do, then that's when there's an issue. I almost can't freaking believe. Guess who is helping Hufford on whose channel do a GoFundMe campaign where the GoFundMe money gets stolen from a bank account somehow. Then they have to redo it for thousands more dollars. And guess where it all started and who helped with it? It was on Red's Rhetoric's channel. The video was Red's handing it off to AT2 Productions. Then they could make money for Sean Hufford. Sean's roommate reportedly steals money out of Sean's bank account. There's an entire video where they're literally saying that this happened. Then they have to do another GoFundMe campaign where these guys are all involved again so that Sean can recoup the money that was stolen, that was given to him but stolen in the first place. Now, Sean's been asked for a police report lately. And of course, if you ask him or Cy Strikling for a police report, Cy Strikling's response is, "What, are you calling me a liar?" And you would imagine they had a police report until they or somebody said, maybe it was one of their Twitter warriors, I don't know, came back with, there is no police report because since the person had access to the bank account, then it's not theft when they stole the money. That is categorically false. Just because you're on a bank account with somebody, it doesn't mean you can take their damn money, okay? You could have still filed a police report, especially before you do another GoFundMe campaign. Because, of course, nobody believes that the money was stolen out of the account, other than maybe by you. I'm not telling you what I think. I'm just telling you what everybody thinks that's talking about this right now. And there's a lot of people because they made a lot of money. And in order for them to make a lot of money, a lot of people had to donate. It's really crazy because you'll get other people popping up that say, wait a minute, what are you talking about? I donated to that GoFundMe campaign. That's happened several times since this conversation started. I just find it really weird because, like, all this craziness is going on with McRae, and at the same time, a group of people that donated to these campaigns after seeing how Steve McRae has lied and skeezed and manipulated things, now they're standing up and actually saying, we want to see verification that you did file the police report. We want the verification that this was handled professionally. And I think it's awesome, and I'm going to tell you why. Because when these guys all got mad at me, that's what they were saying about me. They were criticizing me for my show, for me having a Patreon, not realizing that you're not just criticizing me, you're criticizing any full-time creator. Then they criticized me for my PayPal link. Everything they could criticize me for, they criticized me, which is really weird considering that how do you criticize me when all I do is tell you, if you like my show, you can join it or do Patreon or whatever if you want to, when you guys literally are behind and involved with your hand in the cookie jar in so many GoFundMe campaigns that it's turning into a full-time job for people just to sit down and figure them out. And it's no joke. There's a lot of content being made. A lot of content being made. A lot of stuff being dug up. And I'm not even telling you that I'm the one doing it. I've been doing other stuff this whole time. It's just refreshing to know that people out there are actually starting to look into this and ask questions. Why? I don't think anyone would have asked a single question if they wouldn't have started hammering other creators that actually do make content every day, that actually don't go around attaching these big lies and these big thefts and these big things to their GoFundMe campaigns or their Patreons or whatever. By the way, I don't have a GoFundMe campaign, just so you know. But I'm saying, though, Nate's waiting in the Discord server. We're going to hear what Nate has to say about the first topic. Then we'll jump back to this one because I got a whole bunch of stuff pulled up on Mr. AT2 Productions that you should probably see, because if you're in the community around these guys, you most likely are going to bump into, I almost guarantee you're going to bump into a GoFundMe campaign. Literally, if you watch Reds, Sean, Steve, AT2, I know you don't watch him, but I'm just saying, Marvel Girl, you're going to bump into a lot if you watch Marvel Girl, who is the uncriticizable. You see, what I've been doing since I started to criticize Steve McRae is realize that all the people that people told me not to criticize from back when I hung out around certain people, those are the people you should really look into. So yeah, I'm looking into Marvel Girl too. Oh my God, I know everybody's going to flip out. I was told that if I criticized Marvel Girl, the community's going to be in an uproar. Well, I guess they're going to start roaring because I'm going to criticize Marvel Girl too. This needs to happen. You want to know why it needs to happen? Last thing I'll say, and then I'm going to go get Nate out of the Discord server and we're going to talk to him about the case. Nate Brody, mods, get the link ready for Nate's channel so you can drop it in the chat once we get him in here. Once they did all this, you do realize nobody gave them shit. Everybody was wondering. Everybody was like talking to them, to each other behind the scenes, but everybody was cool and like, well, whatever, you know, everything's fine, whatever. Until they all started to go around and talk shit about everybody else. Literally for their Patreon and PayPals. Then it's almost like, are these guys obsessed with everybody else's PayPal, super chats and stuff like that because they're money hungry? Or, you know, I mean, it is weird to say that, but then again, a lot of them that run constant Patreon / GoFundMe / pity campaigns make like 1 or 2 or 3 videos a month, if anything, after promising that if they get this money, they'll make, you know, content every day. I'm just saying, maybe it's not as easy as you guys think to make good content every day, right? Maybe it's not easy to get up every day, sit down, take in information for hours and hours and hours and organize it in your head, then sit down and edit some nice big long videos on it, then sit down and do a nice long live stream where you sit and use all your energy to talk and remember where you need to go next. And, you know, maybe it's not as easy as you all thought it was. You guys thought what? You could just sit down. A lot of people have that misconception. You can just get online and plop your butt down and talk and you're good to go for a channel. Yeah, if you want your channel not to grow and you want it to suck, then you could just plop your ass in a chair and talk all you want. You could literally do that anytime and you're not going to grow. You know how many channels don't grow? How many channels don't work? Right? If you are going to do something good, though, if you're going to have a good show, it takes a shit ton of work to put it out. Just this little bitch fest about these ding-dongs took hours. Hours and hours to get ready. Anyway, though, we'll get back to these guys and their long con hidden behind veteran service, disabilities, injuries, and all these things that they've been putting on behind the scenes this whole time. We'll get back to that. Let's go grab Nate out of the Discord server and get him in here because he is a lawyer. He does have experience around this stuff, and he can give us a great breakdown of what happened in the last couple days around this court case. Rachel. All right, we are going to get Nate in just a second, y'all. Just bear with me. It's a little unexpected, but I'm very happy to bring him in. I will pull up his YouTube channel while Rachel preps him for jumping in here. All right. All right, here we go. Oh, I think I might have to unmute you in here. I do. Okay. Let me just pull you down here in video production. How you doing, buddy? You with me? Can you hear me okay? He popped back out. 1 second here. Let me see if I can get this working. Hey, I was going to pull Nate down. Is Nate ready?
Yeah, no, I'm ready. I was talking. Maybe I should just go down to video production.
Yeah. Let's just jump down there real quick. Stream Room Prime is messed up, so here we go. All right, Nate, can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you now. I think we're all good.
Right. Awesome, dude. Hey, thanks for coming, man. Let me get your channel pulled up here. I watched your live stream from today, and it was freaking awesome. You pulled up a lot of the stuff that happened on Twitter. You pulled up stuff about Kyle. Let's talk about that for a minute, because I know, you're a lawyer. Can tell everybody, like, what you do and everything so they know, and then let's go into that thing about, Kyle showing up and all that.
All right, cool. My name is Nate Brody. I'm a lawyer who does YouTube. I was, for about 10 years, I was in law enforcement here in New York. I wasn't in NYPD, I was in another branch. And, I did that for about 10 years. I became like an investigator, and it was actually good work. Then I moved on and I wanted to become a prosecutor. So I went to law school, became a prosecutor, did that for some time. Then I, started teaching at a law school. So that's kind of my background. Right now, I'm just kind of, taking on clients one-on-one and doing my single practice and really doing this YouTube stuff. So that's kind of where I'm at right now in my life. That's good stuff.
Yeah, man. We've bumped into each other. We've had little back and forths, and we've kind of like seen eye to eye on a lot of the recent happenings. People are donating. I'll have to see what they say. They might have a question or two, but we'll see in a minute. But you did this great stream today. You've been doing really good coverage of this whole issue up to now. Everybody's wondering, and you've got a good perspective on it when I talk to you, about Kyle showing up and, saying he wasn't served. And, can you fill us in a little bit on what you said today on your stream about him, popping up out of nowhere? Does he have a chance? Does he not? What's your opinion?
Well, you know what? Like, I just got to first preface this. This is not legal advice, If
Definitely.
you're listening to this and, want to do anything like this, just, don't. If you're getting legal advice from this stream, you're getting the bad legal advice. That's
right. This is commentary, like you said.
Yeah. But usually something like 80 or 90% of, let's say, credit defaults go into default default judgments. And that's just what happens here. But the court generally wants judgments on the merits. They don't want judgments by default. It's like you'd rather the two teams play the game than just declaring a winner. So if Kyle can show this technicality that he wasn't actually served properly, there is a chance that the court could overturn this case and send it back. But I think there's very unique laws in North Carolina that you have to adhere to if that's going to happen.
So then there's basically just like a crap shot, really. Like, going in this way is like, I know a lot of people think that because he responded with a paper, it might invalidate him from having an opportunity. There's just so much discussion going on. It's pretty random right now, in my opinion. I mean, what do you think? It's random, or are you leaning a certain way? Like, where are you sitting?
Well, you know what? There's the way I'm thinking about this is that this is all a process. And right now, they're talking about a violation of that process. That's what service is. You have to serve somebody because that tells that person, that notifies them that a lawsuit is going to be commenced. And so the lawsuit doesn't start until the service actually occurs. And there's a constitutional right to that service of process. You have the right to defend yourself. And so that's one of those due process rights that's protected constitutionally. So inevitably, that's what Kyle is saying. His constitutional rights were violated because he didn't have notice of process. He didn't have notice that this case was happening. And without that notice, that he wasn't able to defend himself. That's just like the simplistic way of looking at it.
Yeah, so the judge has to weigh all of that, along with the fact that he might have to sit through this whole thing again if he throws it out. So, maybe like he wouldn't want to go that way. But they like preserving someone's constitutional right. But then again, they're going to say, why didn't you just show up? So, I mean, it's just so crazy that just every time you think about it, it's like no one knows. So it's kind of exciting, though, waiting. No one can really tell what's going to happen here. Do you think Steve is in the right to be comfortable saying, we don't have anything to worry about, Kyle's dumb, it's not going to happen? Is he in the right to be comfortable, or should he be worried, in your opinion?
Well, from my understanding of the facts as they are, in North Carolina, it seems that the process is that if you're going to mail service to someone's home, it has to be taken by an adult, any adult. But the caveat is it has to be your primary home. So the presumption is that service was completed. So right now, Steve is presumed to have had service completed correctly. And Kyle now has to overcome that presumption. And that's what I was explaining today. So right now, if we were just talking about like who's winning or losing, well, Steve is it's presumed that Steve has done service correctly. So now Kyle, by trying to overcome that assumption, we were seeing in some of the cases, the court was saying things like one witness cannot overcome that presumption because you have just one witness saying I served properly, another witness saying I didn't serve properly. That's a wash. We keep the presumption. But if you had something like pay stubs, other witness statements from like neighbors, bank statements, things, you changed your driver's license, things of that nature, then that would overcome the presumption that was your primary residence, and service would be defective, meaning that the case would likely start again. So that's where we're at now. We're trying to determine whether the service that was presented to Kyle Curtis violated the statute, whether it was improper or not.
Well, this is probably a good question for you. Do you think that if the court sides with Kyle in this, will they have to start from square one? Do they have to refile everything and all that? Like, is it just a complete restart? Is that how it goes?
Well, I think there are a couple of things that can happen. And again, I was going to caveat this. I'm not really familiar with North Carolina law, but generally, if something like this was to happen where the default judgment is vacated, then we kind of go back to ground zero, and some places make you reserve the complaint, or some of the places, so because that was the defective piece, you have to do it now properly. But now Kyle's real address is known to Steve because, if they were to reverse vacate the default judgment and send it back, then Kyle's address is there, because he says, now I live here. So now only thing Steve has to do is send it to the right address and service would be completed. So the process would just be, now Kyle would have a time to respond. Steve has already put all this paperwork and he's probably not going to have to do that again. Now he can respond to the lawsuit. And that's the way it'd go. But I know in some states, you don't have to redo service. Now the defendant can respond to the complaint. So
yeah, because he's
there. It all depends on where you're at.
Okay, well, let's take the discussion away from that. And I don't want to keep you too long. I know it's late and everything, and I kind of just like grabbed you in here real fast and everything. But let's talk about just for a second last night, because of that stream that happened. A lot of people were upset from the people that had supported Steve for a long time were upset because they felt as if he was purposely, for the sake of just putting out an appearance, giving really bad information or just inaccurately describing this whole thing. And, did you notice anything from the clips that surfaced on Twitter? Anything stick out in your mind about that stream from last night? Or are you pretty much, not worried about it? Or what do you think happened there? Like, why would he Why would all of that come down? And I mean, it really was a big blow up. It was like a battlefield in that chat room. So what do you think?
Yeah, you know what? It seemed to me, because I watched it last night, and it was actually very entertaining. It was entertaining because it was kind of like, everybody's kind of grasping at straws, not really understanding what's going on, but knowing that it's enough where people are talking about it. And Steve likes to control the narrative, and that's fine, but I think last night it was just getting to a point where if you continuously stretch the truth, people are going to start questioning more and more and more. And the more people question, the more you have to tighten the reins. So that's why now, the reins get even tighter and tighter, and any deception or dissension amongst the ranks has to be purged immediately, because, we can only have the true followers, the true believers in here.
That's exactly what happened too. That's a good description.
There were people who were losing their wrenches last night, right?
Yeah. I heard people that had been mods since, like, they all came to that channel were losing their wrenches. So, I mean, that's pretty big, I think. I mean, what good's that going to do anyway? Like, because they got an opinion on process serving, you're going to boot them out. It seems crazy.
Yeah, this is, it's insane. But again, these things happen all the time. It's not really devoid of incompetence or anything like that. Sometimes, you have a client who tells you this is the address, you send it, and it happens to be the wrong address. But now I think one of the issues is that if I were Kyle, Steve would be an expert witness, because he knew that that wasn't Kyle's address.
Yeah, I saw the compilation on Twitter where it's like all these different times Steve's just okay admitting to everybody, like, I sent it to his old address. It's like, dude, there were people back then that were telling him you can't do that, and he wasn't listening. So it's pretty messed up, really. Well, Nate, man, I just appreciate you. I really loved your coverage of all of this. I know it's late right now. I want to get you, Anti-Ordinary, and others in on an earlier stream, because then we won't all be like scatterbrained and everybody won't be tired and stuff. But I appreciate you stopping by, man. You got anything else you want to add in before we roll this down, or anything else to say? People, make sure you subscribe to Nate. It's up on the screen. Mods are dropping it. But any other thoughts about this before tomorrow?
Well, I do want to see how their lawyer responds, how Steve's lawyer is going to respond. And I think it's exciting because, this is like season 1. Now we get season 2, because if Kyle wins this, number one, he'll be like famous on YouTube forever. And then we get a season 2 of the non-sex lawsuits, so it'll be fun.
It'll definitely be fun. One last question. Sorry, but how long do you think it'll be until we find anything out? Is it a month? Is it a week? Do you have any guess, or?
I don't know. I know usually here, sometimes it could take 1 to 3 months. It all depends on how complex everything is. So, but again, I don't know. They may have a faster schedule because it's not as much, not as many people. So it really, because don't forget, you have to have a response. Then, the other side's got to reply. So it gives you a little back and forth.
So it just dragged it out a little. And either way, it dragged it out. So, everybody's thinking it's the end, and now it's like, here we go again.
The judge is going to accept this. There may be some procedural issue that the judge says, hey, this is just too late, or, this is not worth it, or there can be something that we're just not looking. Kyle's, Kyle's not an attorney, so he doesn't know what the laws are, the process laws are. So, it seems okay, but until, you get a final thing from the court saying, we're doing this, then that's when you got something.
Very true, man. Look, I appreciate it, man. Let's try to hook up and schedule a show and get it done a little earlier so that we can all be at our best and be awake and ready to roll.
All right, no problem, brother. Listen, you have a wonderful stream. Talk to you later.
All right, man. That was Nate Brody, guys. Make sure you do me a solid. Subscribe to Nate and check out the video he did, because he's really good at the law side of it, and that's what he does on YouTube, and he's really good, man. Like, he broke it down. I understood everything by the time he was done talking. He was fair as hell. He's got a lot of reason not to be fair with Steve McRae, and he was really fair. So that's one thing I can definitely give him props for. It's hard to be fair with Steve McRae when all Steve does is try to stack the deck against anyone who dared to criticize him ever. And this is part of a story that all of us have covered, Whether or not it was us just commenting about it, or whether or not it was because Steve was hanging out here like he used to, or what, we've covered it. So of course we're going to update this stuff. It's almost like he can't understand it. He's I noticed that due to some of the clips I found, and you know what, I might as well play some more for you because I forgot some earlier. He wants to call us people that, I forget what his terminology was. Let's just hear it for ourselves. Let's hear what Steve called all of us who are covering this story after you know, he got angry that we are lying about him.
Very well. And I said, okay, great. Then I'll show people how to find it. But I did note, and Jimmy saw this, that the information on there was old. That was Kyle's old address. People had known that he had moved. He moved in with his boyfriend, which I don't have the address for.
That was the address that he was served from, which was his a family member's address, which we knew was an old address. I knew that we knew that was an old address, but that's fine. He had no forwarding information on it, and an adult signed for it.
I just got the super chat.
Right.
You notice that he was already prepared to say that an adult signed for it. And you know, this is a classic McCrae mistake. It's like, dude, yeah, an adult signs for it. That doesn't mean that you can just serve any damn address that somebody used to live at or that you thought somebody lived at and have it work. Seems like such a miscarriage of justice in that way. Although there are people out there that are mad at Kyle. I'll explain that in a minute. I'll get there in just a second. I don't want to just be one-sided here, but there are people that are mad at Kyle, and I'll explain why. But
Jesus Christ, dude.
Yeah.
I got this. The super chat is Jason Born for 2 said, my last known address was 20 years ago. Proper? Yes. Because it's your responsibility.
Yes.
So yes, your last...
You got to get rid of Cheshire. I'm sorry. She just does not know what she's talking about. She's gotten so bad at faking it that she just fakes it 24/7, dude. Like, she has no clue anymore, dude. You got to... Well, no, I don't want you to, actually. I'd love to see your stream suck this bad.
Last known address, even if it was 20 years ago, would be legal and proper way to have it.
Unless you tell the post office you moved, and people send you bulk mail or try to find you, and you have no other documentation saying you live somewhere else.
Yeah.
So which is it? Are you guys lying your ass off, or have you never, ever existed in the real world as an adult? Like, which is it? Seriously. You do know this is how people dodge court cases all the damn time, civil cases. You know that, right? This is literally how it works. It's so crazy. Okay, the other clip is right here. Hold up, let me grab it. Oh, this is a great clip. So I should have added this clip to the video I did a couple days ago when I was updating. I was dropping one clip that I had been saving about the Non Sequitur show till I did an edited video. So I was saving it for the edited video, and I got one done, so I threw it in there. Take a listen to this clip that I should have added to my last video.
Never asked anybody to hold anything. This was a misinformation. That was a miscommunication. While it is true, I asked Kyle to hold funds to have them distributed over a period of time. It was for never asked anybody to hold anything.
Are you a fan of Steve McCrae? Did you used to be a fan of Non Sequitur? Do you think that I've been lying to you? Do you think that other people that criticize Steve McCrae have been lying to you? Has he convinced you that everyone in the world is a liar but him? Well, let's show you who the real liar is with this Steve is a liar supercut.
Never asked anybody to hold anything. This was a misinformation. That was a miscommunication. While it is true, I asked Kyle to hold funds to have them distributed over a period of time. It was for other reasons, for medical. Never asked anybody to hold anything. This was a never asked anybody to hold anything. Never asked anybody to hold anything. This was a misinformation. That was a miscommunication. While it is true, I asked Kyle to hold funds to have them distributed over a period of...
Now, I know what you're thinking. UNIRock, I want the source for those clips. Okay. One is modern day debate, the debate between T-Jump and Ron. Steve McCrae jumps in at the halfway mark. Go watch it. It's a good video. The second one is from Steve McCrae's own channel. When you first click on his channel, when you first clicked on it, the video would start playing for a very, I don't know if it's still there. I don't know if he took it down once he realized this clip completely screwed him over. I don't know if it's still there as of right now, but two separate clips that say the exact opposite thing. Now you'll understand why in my last video it was very important that I played you this clip. Let's take a look at the clip that changes everything for people. And I'll get every super chat in just a minute. I'm going to hit every one of them before we move on. But let's take a look at the clip that changes the entire story when it comes to non sequitur. The entire story changes with this because on this channel, you heard him say what he told T-Jump. Now, you remember when Steve was over here, it was during the time, it was before he went and talked to T-Jump on Modern Day Debate. Okay? Damn it. From that live stream, all I got to do is close a window and it works. I'm starting to learn how to fix Chrome myself. So anyway, this clip that I just played for you, that one I'll play again in just a second. This clip, this is from back when he was on my channel saying he didn't tell Kyle to hold any money. He just needed a couple days or a couple weeks to get some advice before he got paid. That was his narrative here. His narrative eventually changed, but take a listen.
Never asked anybody to hold anything. This was a misinformation. That was a miscommunication. While it is true, I asked Kyle to hold funds to have them distributed over a period of time. It was for
I bet he has a really good excuse, doesn't he? I bet he's got the best excuse in the world. Now take a listen. I wonder if Team Skeptic's watching right now. I hope he is. Let's take a listen right now. I'm going to the Rock A Lot channel. I'm chilling for a little bit. See you there. Peace.
Steve, did Kyle give you the opportunity to have money, but you weren't able to take it because you were on Social Security or veteran pension, and it would have affected that? And Kyle didn't, because you're making it seem as though Kyle withheld money from you.
No, let's make this very clear. I asked, Kyle said he would talk to me how it could be distributed. I asked him, okay, that's fine. Let's talk about how you're going to get it to me. He has never once told me how he's going to get it to me. He's never offered to have a discussion of how he's going to get it to me. I said, Kyle, that's fine. Let's figure out how you're going to get it to me. I thought he was going to bring it to me in October when we have this meeting in October. He could bring cash to me, okay? But he has never asked me about how he says, I've told him, he said, how do you want it? I said, well, let's discuss it. I said, fine, we'll have a discussion on it. That discussion never happened.
And by the way, in order for that discussion to happen, I can actually vouch for Steve. Steve has been asking for weeks.
Now, you do see why people are so confused about non sequitur. You see why people defended Kyle all that time ago. You see why people didn't defend Kyle and actually railed against him. You see why people supported Steve, and now you see why content creators stop supporting Steve. Because he lies. Straight out. This video, he is 1000% admitting right after they filmed the death of non sequitur, when they forced Kyle into the conversation and he was all fighting with Steve, you hear him tell Shannon Q after him and Red's rhetoric made it sound like Kyle is withholding money from Steve criminally and not paying him because Kyle's a dickhead, right? Remember all of this if you followed this story. And then we have him literally in front of a big group of people on Modern Day Debate. James, you need to know about this kind of stuff, dude. Because this will, you got to be able to know this kind of stuff before you listen to Steve anymore. Seriously. He's on James's channel, literally trying to make T-Jump look bad, which anyone would love to do. I'm sorry, but they would. And he says the opposite than what he told Shannon Q. But this is also what he says to T-Jump. He was just on my channel right before this saying that same thing here. Then he changes it back. It depends on who he's talking to. It depends on what he thinks you'll do. So if he thinks you're likely to go hate Kyle, if he says one thing, he's going to say it. If he thinks you're likely to go hate Kyle, if he says another thing. So what happens if somebody like this gets the support of a bunch of YouTubers? Because he lied to them. He didn't tell them the truth. They unlist and private certain streams and videos so that you have a hard time finding anything. They flood things with people being attacked, people getting doxxed, people getting harassed by these random accounts that seem to always pop up when Steve gets mad at you. And then you've got him telling all these different YouTubers different things, different sides, and the one person that can't keep it straight, the one person who continually makes excuses, the one person who's constantly telling you who you shouldn't watch, telling you to load Twitter block lists that conveniently contain everybody who has discovered the lies that he has told and found those clips and told their audience about it. All of these things are what is causing people like me and Team Skeptic to have problems. Two people that got along, that did really good streams together, you know, that were like really cool with each other and did some really awesome things on their shows. We don't get along now because of his lies. I don't even have to guarantee it. I already know. He went to Team Skeptic and lied to Team. He told Team anything he had to tell Team to get Team to hate me. Did the same thing to fight the flat earth, did the same thing to everyone else. He's done it to many creators. And there's one thing that we all have in common. We're all the kind of people that will call you out if you try to lie on our platform, and we'll tell our audience. We will not just let our audience sit there confused. We won't. Some creators will. Some creators don't want to stir things. Some creators don't want to cause the issue in the community. I feel the opposite way. I think you should go ahead and rip that Band-Aid off real fast, because I'm telling you, just like with AT2 Productions, I told you back then that him and Look a Pig and Marvel Girl were trolls, and that if you left them in your, these are my exact words, if you leave them in your community, these things are going to keep happening. You have to it's not that you have to kick them out. You criticize them. You let them know. You can't do that shit around here. You can't lie. You can't skis. You can't turn people against each other here. And if you're going to keep doing it, I'm not going to talk to you until you stop doing it. Then you're welcome back. Okay? You don't cancel them, right? The problem is when you have a creator going around on this big show saying this, that big show saying that, then you're going to notice that those two audiences fight with each other. It's the perfect thing you need to do if you're trying to sue somebody for really messed up reasons. Him suing Kyle is basically him saying, trust me, judge, trust me, community, trust me. Me and Kyle had a 50-50 on everything, not just specific things, but everything. You got to trust me, right? I need to sue him and get it back because I've been wronged, and I don't have it written down. I don't have it in a contract. I don't have any conversations between the two of us that make it seem like we were partners. I actually have the opposite. I have Kyle trying to kick me off a year ago and me begging him not to because we have a good thing going, which is not what any 50-50 partner says. This is why so many people get confused and fight with each other and get mad and then have all these dramatic issues happen, because then he capitalizes on the drama that he creates. I'll just use me and Team Skeptic as a example. Two creators who put better content out together than he's ever put out anywhere on his own or with anyone else, factually, provably. Two creators that worked really well together and put out banger-ass live streams and banger-ass videos are now not speaking to each other, and it's all because this dude lied to both of us and then capitalized on it. How did he capitalize on the issue between me and Team? He then pulled Team onto his channel and brought up this issue several times. He would purposely invite Team over there when this shit happened. You got me? You saw it happen. I don't even have to pull clips. You watched it. And this is the fallout, right? The fallout from it is that two communities now don't interact with each other, and if they do, don't, like Red's Rhetoric's quote the other day, a month ago or whenever, I'm not going to bring up UNIRock anymore. Well, Reds, I'm not afraid to bring you up. I know you're scared as hell to bring me up, because I've actually been finding what you've been doing. This logical debunker of, anyone can debunk a flat earther. I'm not saying you shouldn't do it. I'm not saying it's not entertaining. Anyone can do it, though. Go back to middle school. Go take a middle school video on YouTube and watch it, then go debunk the hell out of flat earthers. Got me? Just, it's fun. Make it funny. Make it good. The problem is what you're doing behind the scenes and for Steve. You were at the death of Non Sequitur. You covered his ass after after the death of Non Sequitur. Isn't that you in that clip I just played? Isn't that your voice at the end of this clip chiming in? I can vouch for Steve on that. That's what you've done for years. Vouch for Steve. And I do think you did it because he's the one that gave you the platform on Non Sequitur to get a lot of attention and continue what you guys did a really cool thing there, but you do realize you wouldn't have done it without Kyle Curtis. You do realize that, right, Reds? You literally stabbed him in the back because Steve started to do the things that are contained in this video. He started to sexually harass women. He started to threaten and bully and stalk and harass Aaron Raw and other people because they made him look bad, and he couldn't take it. You guys can blame Kyle Curtis for destroying Non Sequitur, and I'll blame him 50% of it. 50% of the death of Non Sequitur, I'll put it on Kyle Curtis, but I'm putting the other 50% where it belongs, on Steve McRae. And really, we should probably shave a good 20%, like a 10 from one and a 10 from the other. Actually, I'll shave 20 from Kyle and take him down to 30. Leave Steve at 50, and I'll give that 20% to any creator that defended this bullshit and helped it happen. That doesn't, after seeing the evidence in front of their face, stand up and try to at least correct it to the smallest degree. Because I still get members of my audience like, dude, how can you sit here and have this opinion about Kyle? How can you be on Kyle's side? And why do they think that? Because Steve is telling them I'm on Kyle's side. I'm not on either side. They both did it. I'm willing to be realistic about it. Kyle is willing to stand up and be like, I'm done with that. I'm moving on. I think factually we can say, though, that Steve isn't moving on. I don't think he'll ever move on. I think that if this court case fails, he's going to go run a GoFundMe campaign if his money backs out. Let's say his money backs out. He's going to go do a GoFundMe campaign and fund enough money to go sue Kyle again. If it takes a year, he'll do these kind of attacks and these videos. He's not going to do any real content because if you look back at YouTube and Steve McRae's history, like I said in this video, he never did any real content, ever. And who loses? Does Steve lose? Fuck no. He gets that sweet Patreon money from the confused people that are caught up in the lies. Do the other creators that are going on there lose? Yeah, the other creators around them lose. Because even though the people that are waiting on Steve to get back Non Sequitur, even though they think they're going to gain something out of this, you're never going to gain what you used to have with Steve acting this way and with it being public. And it is now. Because I'm a creator that didn't give two shits about standing up and calling you guys out. It was kind of dangerous for you guys to start chilling with me. You can blame Steve for that one, okay? Because I don't care to call you out. I'll call you out all day long. Okay, you want to go around acting like you can call out any flat earther, but then you're scared to call out me. You're scared to talk to me. You're scared to say my name, right? I think it really shows where things are at here. You're not really the big flat earth debunking tough guys that you act like you are. The only time you are tough is when someone believes in a flat earth. That's it. Or when you're faking, knowing someone's location so you can threaten them with it. You're just scumbags is what it comes down to. You're just scummy. We got a lot to get into, man. We got a whole lot. Dude, I can't tell you how much stuff I've been putting together for you guys. Just wait until I get it all together so I can go live, lay it all out. Then I can go to make some edited videos and upload it and get it all logged into the history of the internet. So that, you guys can rip people off all you want in the future. You can run as many bunk-ass GoFundMe campaigns as you can count on all your fingers and toes. You can go around promising everybody the biggest returned show ever so that other creators will lie for you and believe your bullshit. Do whatever you damn want. And when people search your shit, they're going to find the truth. That's the one thing that I'll do for you with these videos. I'm going to make sure they can find the evidence. Hard evidence. Like this.
Ask anybody to hold anything. This was a misinformation. That was a miscommunication. While it is true, I asked Kyle to hold funds to have them distributed over a period of time. It was for other reasons for medical. Never asked anybody to hold anything. This was a misinformation. That was a miscommunication. While it is true, I asked Kyle to hold funds to have them distributed over a period of time. It was for other reasons for medical.
I mean, I hate to be picky, but how can you have it both ways, dude? Why are there two clips that say the exact opposite thing? Literally, the basis of the Non Sequitur breakup, the basis of the story, the entire community is supporting Steve because Kyle Curtis didn't pay him, and it's Kyle's fault that he didn't get paid. The whole basis of it, we got to move our Patreon from non-sec over to Steve McRae because Kyle's a dick and didn't pay him. We got to go to that comment section and destroy Non Sequitur. We got to destroy Non Sequitur because Kyle didn't pay Steve. Let's go ahead and do it because Steve wants us to. We got to unsub there and go sub at Steve, even though Steve's going to try to sue for the channel back. And he knew it the whole time. It's not like he decided to sue for the channel once he realized that Kyle was gone. That can't be why he told you all to unsubscribe from the channel he was going to get back, right? It's not like, you know, he planned all of that once he duped enough of the community to believe him and he got confident enough in it. And it's not like if he wasn't really the owner of all this stuff, he wouldn't have just sued him from the beginning and not had any of these theatrics so he could make sure he locked down the win on his court case. Because, you know, sitting on the internet and bragging and convincing and lying and repeating about the court case is only going to damage the court case. Any real lawyer will tell you that. That's why you don't see people constantly detailing every single thing about their own court case. Maybe other people will, but you don't see people doing it themselves because you might slip up and you might say something that debunks your entire damn case. You just might fuck up and get your whole case dismissed if the judge happens to stumble upon something like this.
Very well. And I said, okay, great. Then I'll show people how to find it. But I did note, and Jimmy saw this, that the information on there was old. That was Kyle's old address. People had known that he had moved. He moved in with his boyfriend, which I don't have.
Why did he keep telling people that he served an old address that Kyle did not live at and was not his primary residence if he knew that in North Carolina you had to live at the primary residence to get served and to have your court case be valid? He didn't know that. He read it wrong. He said it. He thought you just needed an 18-year-old and it to be your last address. But that's not it. It literally has to be your dwelling where you're at now. But also, he said it because people were accusing him of doxing someone, and he couldn't stand people saying something bad about him, so he had to shut him up. And he shut him up by letting one of his lies slip, that he didn't serve Kyle. And then, you want to know what's ironic? This dude knew that he didn't serve Kyle, and yet sat around on his channel telling everybody, Kyle's not showing up. Why didn't Kyle just show up? Kyle's not showing up. And I need to get into that, ironically, but there was one other thing. Oh, the super chats. Hold up. I will freaking forget if I don't do it now because it's getting late, and I'm a geezer. I'm a geezer when it gets late, y'all. My brain shuts down. All right, let's see what we got here. Hashtag. We got a hashtag here. Let me get the music going so I can have something to actually read the super chats to here. Hashtag, what about busy? My thoughts exactly. You can't kill off McCrazy. Hashtag, what about heretic? Now we have a hashtag war going on. It's difficult to extract crazy out of a McTaint, says Clovis Schillis. That's gross, my friend, but I like it. Leroy says, hashtag, what about heretic? Get yourself a Red Bull, my dude, from Angry Roach. I will. And some vape, ironically. Red Bull fund from Jules. Gotta love the unis, gotta love the jewels. Support uni in a meaningful way, says Single. Thank you. Witness the truth. What is busy supposed to be? I can't figure it out. He's a crackhead. Angry Roach, thank you for your service, uni. Anytime, my dude. Single now. First brick behind you. You know it, Single. You know it. She-Wolf, Red Bull for you and take busy shopping. I won't because he only wants to buy one thing. That's all he'll buy is that one. Oh, no, that is the one thing, ding dong. You're not supposed. You can't say that. It's illegal. Kristen, thank you for the sticker. Gabe, is Steve a sociopath? I think it suits him well. I think he's a narcissist. I think he's actually a narcissist. It's just my opinion, but I do think he's a narcissist. Critical thinking engineer strikes again. Good stream, uni. Also, Nate is awesome, said Suge. I agree, and I hope you guys will sub to Nate. I feel really bad. Because Nate did some streams where him and his friends were sitting around bullshitting, and Steve likes to pull clips from those streams and present them to people, really short cherry-picked clips, and say, you don't want to watch Nate Brody because, look, he's just trolling me. See what he said here? And when you're not thinking about it and in your head you're just like busy and Steve's bugging you, you're like, okay, fine, I won't listen to him, okay, fine. But really, I feel like an asshole because I should have never thought that way about anyone. You know? Oh, you better quit your crying, ding dong. I'm going to send you back to nuclear school. I don't know where that came from, Busy. How many people to donate to make Boomy lose all of his wings tonight? The highest chat wins from Christina. Well, that's up to you guys, but I thank you. And I can't read that last one, but luckily it just happened, so hold up. I bet I can get it from the top of the chat. YouTube needs to fix that. There it is. Okay, I can see it. It is. Nate Brody's lamp has info that would lead to the arrest of Hillary, says Busy's crack pipe. You and Busy have been smoking too much there, Busy's crack pipe. Oh, not enough, huh? Not enough. It's unhealthy, Busy. It's a very unhealthy habit. All right. All right. I have so much data on a certain few people's insane amount of, I don't know what adjective to use here, a lot of GoFundMe campaigns. And I want to get to that tonight, but it's getting late. And I don't want to be up late because I got to get up early and start working on videos because that's what I'm doing now primarily again. You guys know that when I'm not making edited videos, I put together very written out live shows. Like I order them, I get all kinds of stuff there. I'll do hours and hours and hours and hours of outlined live shows when I'm not editing together videos because editing videos literally takes a very long time to do it right. Right now, I'm editing videos. So, as much as I'd love to sit up late every night and do what we've been doing for the last few months, I really want to get these videos out and then come over here and do some streams for you every few days. And I think it's the best kind of formula for the channel because I want to keep the channel growing. And if I just live stream, the channel's not going to grow. And if I don't upload, the channel's not going to grow. So we'll just make it work, right? I am streaming, though, on the Rock a Lot YouTube channel. We do the after show. We do some shows where we actually watch long clips. We get caught up on videos. You know, if you really want to hang out with our old streams where we'd sit here for really long periods of time and stream our asses off, or you just like the other random content that we do, subscribe to the channel Rock a Lot. It's ROCKALOT on the sidebar down below. There's actually a link right on the front of the YouTube channel if you scroll down a little bit. It'll take you right over there. We'll be doing our after show over there tonight even. But there are a few clips that you need to see. There's more than this. There's a bigger clip than this that has them talking about process serving, which I'm very glad they did because they lied to their audience. Straight up, man. They straight up just lied to their audience, and there's really no other way around it. So let me see if I can grab any of these other clips for you because you guys, hold up, let me pull up. I know I have some over here. I think Anti-Ordinary shared some on Twitter. I just want to see if I can get them here. Oh, yeah. When was this? 3 hours ago. Congrats on the 3,000 subscribers, Nate Brody. Next stop, 5K. You guys help us out. Let's help Anti-Ordinary and Nate Brody get up there because they've been doing a lot to cover this story. They really have. Okay, is there any of these clips I need? Any of these clips? Oh, here, is this different?
The address that he was served from, which was his a family member's address, which we knew was an old address. I knew that we knew that was an old address, but that.
I mean, God, dude, on Twitter, there is an explosion of people clipping Steve's lies, Steve's contradictions. I really think that Steve McRae this is going to be the final hurrah for him and his little troll group because it's just out there now. Oh, here's another one.
I said it was an old address, right? I remember I said that very specifically. And some disreputable people have latched on that and said to him, "Hey, look, he served an address he knew that wasn't your correct address. That's false. That's a false service, right? That's not legal," which is completely wrong.
Do you even hear the way he says completely wrong? It's an act. You can hear it in his voice. Completely wrong. You can hear it. He doesn't give a shit, dude. He just wants to use any dirty tactic that he can to take non sequitur. And Kyle, you know what Kyle wants? He wants to move on and to leave non sequitur there so that any of the fans in the future that want to go back and watch it can watch those old videos. Steve McRae is going to destroy non sequitur. It's going to happen. I just know it, man. I can feel it in my gut. You know, he's going to use as many dirty tactics as he can. His buddy in Australia is going to pump more money into the law firm. They're going to walk up in that courtroom. They're going to slam it down. And they're going to make sure that even if they have to let Kyle get away with, you know, some things that Steve doesn't want him to have, they're just going to make sure that Steve gets that channel. And once he gets it, he's going to take his nasty, hateful stuff that just makes up the entire fiber of his being over to non sequitur, and he's going to just destroy that channel with it. And you know it, and I know it. You can't sit on his channel for a year with the backing of all those patrons and not do a single non sequitur show, or at least a new show with a new name with the backing of all those patrons that came over. You can't do it if you've spent a year cyber stalking, harassing, and lying. It becomes built into you when you lie that much. It becomes a part of you. It becomes the only thing you can do. All you can ever do then is get so angry. What anyone says anything on Twitter you don't like, you block them, or you cuss them out, or you try to dox them, or you harass them. Any creator that takes Kyle's side, it's attack them, cancel them, flip out, sick your army on them. And more people, when they participate in Steve's trolling and they start to feel bad about what they did, instead of trying to make it right, they just bail on the community. They're like, fuck this fucked up community, I'm out of here. And it's been happening a lot. The whole big thing about last night, if you weren't here for the beginning of the stream, is that there was so many people in his chat that were railing against them. Their moderators worked harder than even my moderators did when he was attacking the channel. They were on double time, banning. They had to take away wrenches from long-term moderators last night and banned them. And it's bad. It's just fucked. It's really fucked. Why do you want to take his Twitter? Why do you want to invade the privacy of all of your old viewers that talk to Kyle through DMs and pour through their old DMs with Kyle's non sequitur Twitter account? You know, Kyle had to delete that if he wanted to preserve the privacy of the people that he talked to. And the people that he talked to on the non sequitur Twitter account were non sequitur fans, just so you know. I mean, it's pretty obvious. So he went out to delete it and said, I don't care. You can go ahead and throw me in jail. You can do whatever you want. I'm deleting this because I had conversations with all these old non sequitur fans, and you're not going to pour through them and make those people look bad and, you know, trash these people for it. And because of that, now Steve wants to get him charged with contempt of court, which he says he already is in contempt of court, and that he's going to go to jail for fraud now. And in all reality, I'd like to break that down too, but I mean, I could talk forever about this. He wants to say that Kyle should be charged with fraud. Well, what about what you're doing that's fraudulent? What about what you're doing to Kyle? You know you guys didn't have a 50-50. You guys could have discussed it once or twice, but that isn't legally binding. You could have sat there and said, we should have a 50-50. Well, we'll figure it out. Let's go get the papers. Let's file the LLC. All evidence shows that Kyle tried to file papers with Steve to figure out what they were, but they couldn't agree. And if you can't agree, then legally, you're not a partner with him 50-50. When you can't agree, the owner is the owner and the co-host is the co-host. He most likely wouldn't agree to the terms that Kyle wanted to have. He most likely wanted to force a 50-50. Kyle probably didn't want to do the 50-50 in paper, and they never put it into paper, and then eventually all this shit happened. Most likely. But how does any of this turn into it's 50-50 and ownership 50-50, not 50-50 for paid for video? Nobody knows except those two. And yeah, Kyle lied, and yes, Steve is provably lying. So where do you go with that? You go into having shitty content on YouTube thanks to this being forced and the attacks and Katie being attacked every day. Now YouTubers have to talk about it, and it's just garbage content. It's just garbage drama content that we're locked in until this damn thing ends. And it sucks that it's going to continue. I hope that either they throw it out and the judge is like, screw this, you're both lying, get out. Or you know, Steve's lying now and you used to lie, get out. I hope that's what happens. Or at least they just say, here, Steve, take it. They just come to a decision. Because if it's over with, then it can't be abused for content anymore. You know? Because it's garbage content. How many times can you play McCrae lying over and over again? For fuck's sake, right? Let's see what else we got before we get out of here. I'm going to end up doing the whole GoFundMe part, you know, tomorrow, the next day, or this weekend. I don't know. This next weekend, I mean, we'll figure it out. It's like the most fucking craziest part of the whole story right here. This is the most craziest part of the whole story. You realize, all of you McCrae supporters, you are either really shitty people or you are being duped by him. You refuse to look at clips like this.
Never asked anybody to hold anything. This was a misinformation. That was a miscommunication. While it is true, I asked Kyle to hold funds to have them distributed over a period of time. It was for other reasons, for medical. Never.
What's his excuse here? What would his excuse be? Can anyone tell me before we go to the Rock-A-Lot channel? Just give me the... Let's just get out of here by saying, give me the excuse for this clip. Give me the excuse for this one clip, please.
Never asked anybody to hold anything. This was a misinformation. That was a miscommunication. While it is true, I asked Kyle to hold funds to have them distributed over a period of time. It was for other reasons, for medical. Never asked anybody to hold anything.
Can I get the excuse that makes sense, that makes Steve not a liar who's going around trying to give a different narrative wherever he needs to garner enough support to attack Kyle, to turn people against Kyle, because he's mad at Kyle for kicking him off the show? That did factually happen. Remember, non sequitur shows stopped because Steve got kicked off and then Kyle's show got attacked so hard that he quit. That factually happened. I've got it recorded, okay? From that perspective, from over there with them. How does this clip make sense to all those people that are defending Steve, like the whole 50 of them? Anyway, let's see that last super chat. Let's go to the Rock-A-Lot channel. It's getting late. My brain doesn't function when it gets late unless I have a Red Bull. I'm not drinking any more Red Bulls tonight, y'all. I'll be up all night. So, sorry. You have to wait till tomorrow for another stream. All right. Rock-A-Lot is fun. Tarkov and Uni is fun, ding-dongs. Exactly, my dude. Somebody gets it. Somebody gets it. You know what I'm saying? And I can't read that last one. I don't know why. Gabe gave me another one. I can't see it. Maybe I can see it in Streamlabs. Let me look. All right, let's see if I can see it over here. Oh my God, no, Streamlabs. Stop, Streamlabs. Don't do it. Don't kick in all of a sudden, damn it. You haven't been working all day. Don't start now. Busy, you want to roll? F-crack, let's roll on E. Gabe, stop giving him ideas. You're not meeting him out back, Busy. You're not doing it. We got an after show to do. Busy! Tune in the next couple days when we'll be watching one of AT2 Productions' first live streams. He is a ding-dong. Oh my my God, dude. I gotta stop. I gotta stop, y'all. That's exactly what that troll wants. He just wants his name said on any YouTube channel. Any YouTube channel that'll say it. That's all he wants. All right. Let me grab the live chat for a minute. Then we're going to get out of here and go to the Rock-A-Lot channel. Thanks all of you guys for hanging out with me. I really appreciate you. I'm going to be streaming just as much as usual, but you're going to be seeing the after show, the longer streams, the more drawn out stuff on the Rock-A-Lot channel. And you're going to be seeing more of the written streams, the constructed streams. The streams that have a point to them will be over here on UNIRock too. I'm going to attempt to get a stream out every other day. One of them will be a longer stream, then no stream. Then we're going to have a shorter stream, no stream. Longer, skip a day, shorter. That way I've got enough time to edit videos and upload them and get on a better schedule with it. We've got a video that'll be coming out. It's going to be a banger. Keep an eye out. Our crowdsourced criminals playlist is coming back. For those of you that weren't around when we did crowdsourced criminals, we take a GoFundMe campaign, an Indiegogo campaign. We take any crowdsourced campaign that's out there and just take a look at the details, the facts, the evidence. Sometimes we look at the most famous campaigns and how they ripped off a bunch of people. Or we look at some campaigns that were really good that failed for other reasons. But either way, crowdsourced criminals is coming back. And it's one of my most favorite old playlists. So, you know. Okay. Oh my God, is that the SciStrike account? Get it the hell out of here. Go do damage control on your own channel. You can make a video response to me instead of trying to barrage my Twitter for months, thinking I'll never bring you up. I would have never talked about you on this show. You would have never come up. I'm going to devote an entire video to you. So you got what you wanted. That's why you poked at me on Twitter all that time, right? That's why you talk so much shit on me, isn't it? I mean, hell, I'm just a ding-dong. I'm just a evil uni ding-dong. So why does it matter? Why do you care? Why? Seriously, what's the issue? You don't care what I have to say, right? I could take all the stuff you've spammed to my Twitter account over the last while and, you know, and show it in a video. It'd be boring, but I could. No, I'll just take a look at your GoFundMe campaigns that you guys have been doing lately, and we'll just talk about them. Hell, if you didn't do anything wrong, it'll be an advertisement for you in the future, right? You don't got anything to worry about. You're good to go. Sorry, this is what you wanted, not me. I don't know what the hell you thought would happen. You keep stomping on the grubs. You're a force to be reckoned with. I'm really just a silly guy. I'm really just a silly guy with a silly crack smoking piece of bread. No, you are. How does that make sense? No, you are. Stop saying that. God, it only reinforces my point. He always says that. No, you are. No, you are. No, you are. I'm busy. No, you are. I love Ding Dong Cupcake Twinkies. I mean, there's an overload of ding-dongs on YouTube, you know. The chocolate-covered cupcakes. No, seriously, listen. I don't know why the SciStrike channel is in here bugging the hell out. When you turn on a light, the roaches run, says She-Wolf. You don't have to be so nice to me, but I love you for it. Anyway, we're going to head to the Rock-A-Lot channel, y'all. I'll be back here. Honestly, what is this? What in the world is this? Oh, God, Sean. Sean, don't call me on Skype, bro. I'm not talking to you. What are you worried about, bro? What are you worried about? I mean, shit, I've heard a lot of the stuff you've been saying about me in the background. What do you care? If I am all the things you guys say I am, why do you give a shit? You're not talking to me ever again. You had a chance. You want to know why I'm not going to talk to you? You had a chance when AT2 Productions was threatening me with my location, when Steve was lying about me, when the DFOTY stream is popping off and all this dumb shit's happening. You had a chance to stand up and say any damn thing you wanted, right? Anything you wanted. You want to get pissed because your name comes up on my stream, right? Nobody gave a shit when my name was coming up. All these places with all these lies being poured out about me, right? Why does it matter? You don't like me. You think I suck. You think I'm a liar, right? No, you guys do. I'm honorless. Honorless. I'm a liar. I'm nothing but drama. My show sucks. Right? Oh, well, you're not going to deny you said these things. Okay, good. You got me? If I am all these things, then why does it matter what happens on my show? Well, I'm glad the logic is there for it not to matter. For me to do what I want. For me to say what I want. For me to put whatever the hell I want up here. I mean, what? Did you guys really think that I would just sit here, not say shit after a month? You know, I've ignored all of it for like a month, right? You know, there are a lot of people that like me out there. There are a lot of people that liked my show in the community. There are a lot of people really close to all you guys maybe not you as much, but that certain people close to you talk a lot to. I'm just saying, you guys can spy on me, you can jump in my Discord, you can pull these screenshots out, you can run around and do all this crazy stuff. In the very least, all I do is just sit back and chill, so just forget about me. You don't have anything to worry about, remember? I'm the bad guy. You guys are the good guys. You did nothing wrong, and I suck. Shit, dude, you should be sighing a sigh of relief.